And now, Giant Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
We're talking Giants every day. From McCovey Cove to the Oracle Park lights, Eric and Glenn keep the fire burning bright, fighting for the glory, no matter what it costs us, breaking down the moments from the wins to the losses. Giant Sports Talk, we're here for the ride. Eric and Glenn with the fan base pride, talking dreams, will they contend? But we'll back the Giants till the very end. Let's go Giants! Yes, yes, yes! Oh! Eric and Glenn breaking it down, all Giants all the time.
All right, welcome to Giant Sports Talk Live here on February 7th, 2025, Friday night. Guys, going to have a special show today about 8:30. Vince Russo will join the show. He's going to try to set myself and Glenn straight. That's what he said. I got to set you guys straight. So we're going to have some fun right around 8:30. Should be good times, guys. Vince Russo, if you guys don't know, huge Giants fan. And again, it stems from his father. His father root for the Giants when they were in New York. So there's a lot of family history there with Vince Russo and the love of the Giants. So it should be a lot of fun, guys. You guys will enjoy that.
Is he going to be doing the show tonight from his Elks Lodge? It always looks like he's in an Elks Lodge. He's got so much paraphernalia and
Dude, he's got so much stuff, man. I'm telling
memorabilia
you.
and junk laying around.
Dude, he's got
right in the
stuff
middle of it is
everywhere.
a keyboard. I think I saw in the
Yeah.
last show a keyboard in there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff.
Look at the
man.
ivories there, Vince.
Yeah.
All right,
It's going to be fun.
Eric. I know we got a lot to tackle today. A lot to talk about.
A lot.
Give me all the detail. What has gone down in the last 24 hours?
I'll tell you what's gone down. Robert Rothberg coming in with some ludicrous stuff. You're crazy talk. Nope. Vastly improved. He says vastly improved. I wouldn't go as far as vastly.
Vastly?
I don't know if I would go. I would not go with vastly. Has it improved? Sure. It's improved. Sure.
You might have a few vascular problems, Eric. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't agree. I was going to pull this one up, to be honest with you. I don't know. That's the thing. We don't agree, but you can have your say.
What the Mario? He's going off. I can't see. What does he say? F-U-C-K the A-S F the A-S. I don't know. Mario's he's not happy with the Giants. I know that. I know that for a fact. He is not happy with the Giants.
Connor Joe, San Diego. Nice signing there. Nice signing.
Yeah.
I said to Eric before the show when he mentioned that to me, I said, how come, Eric, that the players that we sign, we take other people's junk, and you know what it is? Junk. And other teams take our junk and make ball players out of them. Connor Joe, Joey Bart, a la some of the moves.
Last year, not so much. He was kind of dookie last year, but I think he also had a lot of injury. But
Connor Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, Eric.
He had a better year. He had a better year in 2023.
He was great last year. Had him in the fantasy league, man. Oh, he was consistent.
He might have come in late because he only got a 228 last year.
Good signing.
We'll see. We'll see how that works out. Again, it's just a depth piece. Basically it's a piece to replace Jurickson Profar, who went to, where did Jurickson go again? Rangers, right? Is that where did Jurickson go? Did he go to the
Not
Rangers?
acquiring Connor Joe is
No,
not a
Braves.
big offseason fail. It has been a monumental offseason fail, not just anything to do with Connor Joe.
And Ibrahim is back. Ibrahim, great to see you, man. Awesome. Good
That's
to see
what
you.
I'm saying right there.
All right. Yeah,
Not
Atlanta.
about Connor Joe. It is an epic fail. Anyway.
How about Connor Joe? Or no, Trevino. That's what I think of Trevino. Trevino.
Was Mike sucking up to me tonight or something?
No, I was trying to figure out what team Profar went to. It was the Braves. It was the Braves. Oh, here, you know what? Matter of fact, Mike, right there, he sent me an interesting tweet. Did you see what MLB is predicting? Jung Hoo Lee? You see his numbers?
They're probably bad because I saw the projections for Major League Baseball, Eric. They're saying that I think there's going to be one 300 hitter in the National League and nobody's going to bat above 280 in the American League. I thought, what is up with that?
MLB Network.
Okay.
Giants are getting a consistent bat back in the lineup.
I have him at 13 home runs, between 11 and 13. So that's bang on. I have him with a higher batting average. I got him at, what was it, Eric? 326.
326.
Yeah, I'm standing by that too.
Look at that. Now, look, I tell you what, if Jung Hoo Lee puts up those kind of numbers, Glenn, that is going to be interesting. Again, that's through 2025 Fangraphs. I'm pretty impressed. Okay,
they've changed my plan, my view on things, Eric. I think it's going to be a great season, Eric. 95 wins.
I tell you what, no, it ain't no 95 wins, but it's
Wilmer's
good.
hit 36.
I tell you what, this is a bit of good news that we've had. Again, it's projections, right? We put up projections, and you take projections with a grain of salt to a certain extent, right? So it's nice to see at least they're projecting Jung Hoo Lee will be. Hell, even if he batted 275, I would be happy. Right?
Yeah, I see Mike says, would you take those stats?
Absolutely.
Okay, then I think he can do better.
Absolutely. I'd take those stats all day long, man.
ECMO, you're right. Just stay healthy.
ECMO, that's going to be the story of the game, or specifically ECMO. I would say that's more so with the starting rotation. Verlander, Hicks, are they going to be able to stay healthy? Ray to a certain extent.
How many stolen bases for Wilmer? 1. For Jung Hoo, between 11 and
we'll see.
11 and 13.
Well, you know what's interesting? We know that Farhan did not like his club to steal. What is Buster Posey's philosophy on base stealing? We'll soon find out. Remember, he was a catcher, and he understands what the damage can be done if you have a guy that could steal a base. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Rick, I like Jung Hoo Lee. I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do. I'm hoping, man.
Oh, I think he's balls to the wall player, Eric. You're going to get more dynamic running catches. He's dominant in the outfield.
I see what he's saying. Is he going to be a little?
Not going to be shy.
Is he going to be gun shy because he doesn't want to get hurt? When he's running, if he's running for a ball towards the fence, is it going to be in the back of his head? We'll find out. Look, when people suffer a catastrophic injury, sometimes they quote unquote hear footsteps, so to speak. What's up, Cliff?
I like that one. Might be the early quote of the night right there.
Hey, look what he's got as a profile pic. He's got his name on the back of a San Jose Sharks jersey. Only guarantees alive are death, taxes, and Robert's vastly optimism about the Giants. No matter how many losing season, Rob's confidence is like a tax bill. It always arrives, and you can't escape it. Come on, catalyst. No. I don't think he's going to be a catalyst. I think
he could be if he gets on base, Eric. If he's got a high on base percentage and can,
who's going to be the catalyst?
He can be a catalyst because he's going to be able to produce some runs, something we haven't had in the last few years.
That's why I think Adames will be the catalyst. He's got to knock him in. It's one thing to get on base. The issue with the Giants are getting the guys that are on base across home plate. So it's gonna.
You know what? I was kidding earlier. I was kidding, by the way. Eh? I was pulling a Pinocchio on you. I was saying, oh, I'm all in now, Eric.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
This team continues to strike out at over a 20% clip.
Yeah, it's got to be fixed. Absolutely.
What do you do to fix it? You haven't made any changes. What are you going to do to change that, Eric? What are you going to do to change that?
They got a different. Now they got rid of one of the hitting coaches. They brought one up, the guy from Sacramento, right? What's his name? Damon Minor? Is that his name? And they also still have Pat Burrell, but they got rid of Justin Veal. Would be a good thing. So are they going to teach different? Look, it's ultimately up to the batter, right? Look, coaches can only do so much. I've said this a million times. Coaches can only do so much. The player's got to go out there and he's got to execute. He's got to get the bat on the ball. He's got to look. If he's a power hitter, hell, then show him how to be a better power hitter. I mean, whatever. But just put the ball in play, man. That's all I'm asking, especially with guys on base.
Didn't you tell me that Bob Melvin had some good things to say about Wilmer Flores?
Yeah, supposedly. I guess he was on KNBR saying that he's good as far as his physical.
What?
Yeah.
What?
His physicality.
Are you kidding me?
He's healthy. Glenn,
No, not about Wilmer. We're not about whoa. They were talking Giants baseball on KNBR?
Yeah.
Whoa, stop the press.
Oh, man. Nice. Yeah, the 22nd's the first game, if I'm not mistaken, right? Dan, Cliff, he's going to head down to spring training. Yeah. Pretty cool.
What the hell's going on? Is this a pre-planned, preconceived motion that you brought upon me tonight, Ari? Everybody's on the Wilmer Flores bandwagon tonight.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, hold on. Let's talk about
Holy geez, one talking point on KNBR and all hell's breaking loose on the Flores.
The thing is, how many at-bats is Flores really going to get? Maybe he gets more as a DH. Is he going to will he be the DH while Wade takes first base? Because you're facing more righties, right? You're facing more righties than you are lefties.
Of course, that's what's going to be. Yeah. Who else is going to be playing DH? It's Wilmer.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's another situation we haven't talked about, Eric. Both leagues now dominated by the designated hitter rule. And what the Giants have? I mean, other teams have dominant DH, a guy who's. You look at him, you go, he's your DH in the roster. You got to be. And sure enough, he is. You look at our roster, who's the DH? And you're like, maybe it's Wilmer. I don't know.
Well, but suppose he said it's going to be a revolving door.
Oh, yeah. A la Platoon. Yeah. Platoon. There's a Platoon DH.
And that's fine. If you want to platoon a DH, that's fine because you're not taking someone out.
No, it's not. Because you give this Giants team an inch, they take 2 miles, Eric.
Well, that was true under Farhan. We'll see. We got to see how the team plays under Posy. So
Dude, you were the one on the show last night saying that you were comparing. What was it? Buster Zaidi? Come on, man.
No, the reason I was saying that.
I haven't seen any changes. I haven't seen any. I haven't seen anything that has. You talked about. They went out and made that 2 signings this week, Eric. Dumpster diving.
Hold on. There's a difference between your baseball philosophy and what you do as far as acquiring talent. Different things. It's different parts of the same job, right? Because as the president of baseball operation, you got a lot of things. You got to, of course, figure out what your philosophy of what your ball club's going to be. You got to figure out how do you acquire talent, whether it's free agents, trades, or through the draft. And then, of course, you got to be monitoring all your young guys. So let's see. No. I wouldn't say positive, but let's see. I mean, we don't know how the team is going to play it. I'll tell you one thing. I don't like the way the team is constructed. I've made that perfectly clear.
Here, I'll get Eric going. Let's get Eric going. Anthony Rizzo might be here soon. There you go. Let's get Eric going.
No, see? What's the point? I see no point. There's no point of getting Anthony Rizzo.
No.
That'd be another
move. That'd be another move that proves this team does not look toward the future.
Yeah.
Not looking toward the future and not getting any better. Lateral moves, dude. Honestly, lateral moves.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Well, just keep Wade and and Flores. What's the point of getting Rizzo?
Yep.
JD Martinez, no.
No, I don't, Mike. I
No.
don't.
No.
I don't.
No. No.
No matter what even if the Giants have a decent year, I think it'll be smoke and mirrors, Eric. And you know why? Because they didn't. I still will maintain, moving forward for years to come, they should have tore it down. And I don't mean the Ramoses and the Jung Hoos. I mean all those pieces like Wilmer Flores and Lamont Wade Jr. and then the $10 million yearly salary there for Yaz. And come on, they should have cleaned house, Eric, and started to rebuild.
That may have been the better course of action. May have.
And for me, it wouldn't have included a 6-year contract for a third baseman.
Well, yeah.
It would have been
talk
go
about
out
this.
and get some offensive production from a first baseman, get a second baseman who's what a concept. Let's sign a second baseman who's actually a second baseman, Eric.
The issue with the Giants, as far as third base is concerned, is you had to get a first baseman that's going to be willing to be a DH after next year, because you can't block Eldridge. You can't.
Nope.
You can't block him. So if you wanted to get a guy that's a first baseman and is willing to be a DH afterwards, then hey, yeah, all for it. Marquetna. Whoa.
Oh,
I didn't
sorry.
get no worries.
Sorry.
Where'd it go?
Want me to bring up Marquetna?
There it is. This is the issue I have. How many Clubhouse guys do you got to have?
Jesus Christ.
Listen, Marquetna, I get what you're saying, but I want to also get guys who are going to be playing, right? I want guys who are going to contribute on the field. Yes, it's good to have Clubhouse guys. Chapman, we've already heard, Clubhouse guy. Willie Adames, Clubhouse guy. Verlander is going to be a mentor. Look, can we get players? That's all I'm asking. Is that so hard to ask? I just want players.
I don't care about Clubhouse, Eric. All this. Oh, you know what? I'm probably the only one who will go out with the balls to say that. Everybody on media, KMBR, they're always using that term. Well, they've signed another guy. He's good in the clubhouse. Eric, do you know one of the greatest teams? Thank you to Ken Burns, by the way, for enlightening me. One of the greatest teams of all time for a span of probably 5-6 years, a decade, if you will. The early 1900s, like the 10s to the 20, and I know there was a lot of negativity for 1 year, but the Chicago White Sox, Eric, one of the greatest fielded teams in baseball history. And they all hated each other. So don't tell me that you need this clubhouse. They hated each other. But when they got on the field, Eric, they were freaking slick.
Yep.
Not Slick McBurney, but they were slick players.
Luis Castillo might be in San Francisco if trade would. No. Well, that ain't going to happen, though. The rotation set. I don't see the Giants making a move for a pitcher. I just don't.
Somebody asked.
They need to make them right now at this particular time. They need to make a move for a bat. That's what they have to do.
Yeah, when somebody asked you a few minutes ago, or throughout in general, they asked about trading at the deadline. Will they trade Wilmer? And will they trade Lamont Wade? And I'm really saying, Eric, are those guys that people are going to be adding at the deadline to, shore up their team?
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to be negative Nelly here. A Little House, reference. I've got all kinds of them tonight. But Eric, we're dealing with players. People are talking, maybe we can move these guys. Yeah, okay. Maybe we can move them. We got to release them, or we've got to buy out their contracts, Eric, or we got to trade them and eat their contract. Right? Am I wrong here?
No, you're not wrong.
If you're 90% of Major League Baseball and I'm working, you always said, you pick up the phone. Eric, would you be interested? Let's work out a little deal. I got Wilmer Flores. And you'll be like, next.
No, you're gonna have to involve one of these young guys. Vince is coming, guys. I said about 8:30. He'll be here.
Wilmer Flores and Lamont Wade don't sweeten the pot.
No, it doesn't. It's just they're just guys. The guys that another club is gonna want is gonna be some of our young guys. That's what it's gonna be. Bryce Eldridge, of course, I would say is off the table. But you got other guys out there that you can trade. You got some pitchers. You could, if you want to get bold, trade Harrison. I mean, it all depends on what you're getting back. That's ultimately what it is. Who you're trying to get and who do you have to give up? And again, that's a back and forth that you have to have with the club that you're dealing with. So,
well, you and I sometimes, or I'd say a lot of times, try to live in some kind of a reality world, Eric. So I ask you, who do you you get for a Wilmer and a Wade? If you traded them together, who do you get for a Wilmer and a Wade?
Yeah,
A Connor Joe, maybe.
Not much. It's not much. A mid-level prospect. That's
Third round draft pick. You get a draft pick or you know what? You get cash.
Yeah. Oh, free up the cash. But again, you free up the cash. Well, what are they going to do? Dan made a great point. 3 World Series championships in the 70s for the A's, and they were always fighting in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
It's just different. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. Yeah, everyone likes the whole, he's a good clubhouse. I get it. I understand it. And I think I made this point a few days ago. If you're a major league player, you got to have some type of character. I would think, especially in today's game. Otherwise, you ain't going to get very far.
He's a character player. Well, aren't they all?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, some more than others, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure some have their vices, Shohei. But yeah, it is. Roop, I saw that.
I just brought that up. But which team will he be getting innings as a starter for? Ekmo? Where would we got to move him to?
He's going to have, what's up, Casey? He's going to have to get in line, Heckmo. That's the problem. There's no, right at this particular time, there is no room for Roop. There's not even any room for Birdsong. And the guy showed something last year. So, yeah, Roop, I don't know what they're going to do with Roop.
Yeah, I don't want to be known as the San Francisco mentors for a long period of time.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And again, I'll call people out, Eric, when I have to call them out. Stop making excuses. Well, clubhouse, I'm bringing the clubhouse together. Eric. That's all. You know what? They're all talking points that are used so loosely in the media.
Yeah, that's what it is.
How many times do you hear an interview post-game? Well, we got a good bunch of guys in the locker room here, and blah. You'll hear that all training camp. Oh, we got a good bunch of guys in the locker room. Yeah. Okay. My second question: do you have a good bunch of guys actually out in the fucking field?
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, a good bunch of guys in the locker room.
It's always like this. It's spring training. It's always like this. They're never gonna. And usually, for the most part, you don't air internal issues to the public. You just don't.
Oh no. No.
You just don't do that. So even if there is issues, they're going to say, everything's great. Everything is hunky-dory.
I can tell you firsthand, Eric, all my years in hockey, especially my years broadcasting, some of the greatest bunch of guys and teams we had, you were on the bus rides and the plane rides, and they were hooting and howling. The years you look back and you go, that was a great year. But we freaking sucked on the ice.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Do you want a bunch of pricks who win you a championship? Or do you want to say, Eric, they were a bunch of nice guys. They always sign an autograph, or they're always good to us. And, they always talk to us when we're down in the third baseline. Or, I hear they're great dugout players, or they're great locker room players. I don't care. I really don't care. It's all about, for me, Eric, wins and losses.
Yep. I remember that. I remember Sandoval. He was wearing him in the dugout. I remember that. Gave him the cup. Do you remember that? I don't know if they showed footage of him in the dugout. That shit was pretty damn funny. Showed Pablo walking around in cowboy boots.
Yeah, but Mad Bum wanted to win. He had a winning mentality, Eric.
He was a red ass.
He wasn't there to be your buddy, was he? You don't have to be there to be your buddy. I worked in one specific job in Fredericton. I told you the other day. Ever asked you the other day, Eric, about people who had a job and you wish you could look back and say, I wish I could have changed those 3 years or 5 years.
Right.
I mean, to be on a major league team, Eric, it's a job. At the end of the day, you get paid a lot of money. It's your job. It's not a boys club.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right? I don't have to like you. I go to work.
Exactly.
That's why sometimes I like the blue collar teams. They don't have to like each other. Man, they go out and they hustle.
Right. That's a great question, Mike. Let's talk about it right now before Vince pops in. Okay, let's do two things. Where does he sign? And does he sign before or after the Super Bowl? Bregman. Does he sign before the Super Bowl? Let's hear that real quick, guys. Before or after the Super Bowl?
I think it goes well into. I think this might be a case. I told you these older players, Eric. Mm-hmm. Maybe he knows where he wants to go. he's just eating up a lot of the clock when it comes to the spring training. He'll sign around the 20th.
After. Everyone's saying after the Super Bowl.
And I think he's going to end up with the Toronto Blue Jays, dude.
Signs during the Super Bowl. Maybe
Halftime
he's
special.
Halftime. Hey, breaking.
Hey, speaking of that, and it's off topic, who's the halftime artist this year?
I have no idea. I don't give a shit.
I don't watch that.
Okay.
Usually
So a lot of people saying after. Where does he sign? Where do you think? I have no idea. I heard the last thing we read right there on MLB Trade Rumors, for what it's worth, multiple teams with a 6-year contract, but is not at the price that he wants. So, I don't know.
I think it's the Blue Jays.
You think it's the Blue Jays? You think the Blue Jays will offer 200 somewhere around?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? The biggest day in sports, and it's Kendrick Lamar. Give me a break.
145 Dodgers. I don't think 145 gets it done. I think we're talking more 180. I'm saying with 180. Right? That's what gets it done.
200.
Or even 200. Yeah, that's fine. The reason why I say 180 because that's $30 million a year.
Hey, Rick's got, if he, that would be good signing for the Cubs.
Dude, if he goes to the Cubs,
the
Cubs are going to be a threat, not just for the Central. They may go deep again. On paper, if everyone stays healthy, it could be a hell of a deep playoff team.
Whatever you're into, Mike. Whatever you're into, dude.
What top free agents? There's only one left.
Not my kind of stuff.
Bregman's the last quote unquote top free agent. It starts at 151. Chapman's extension is the starting point. Okay. I think he gets more than that, right, Cliff?
Yeah, I'm hating on Kendrick. Not my kind of, not my
cup of tea. Yep. Arenado, yeah, there's still, I don't know. Mike says Arenado might get traded to the Dodgers. That's possible. That is, there is a possibility that happens, but I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. A little bit strange, but.
Guys coming in.
Comes in and says, Ricketts ain't giving Bregman a 60. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Sounds very familiar. You know who he's talking about, right? Was that the owner of the Cubs? Cliff says, I agree. 6 at 166, 180. Yeah, there we go. And Seager's in the house. Comes in.
I don't care, Val. I don't care, Mike. I don't care. Kendrick.
Where does Tom Murphy? Who the hell knows, man? That's a great question,
Eric,
Mike. Don't know.
Super Bowl halftime, guys. Super Bowl halftime is just like the Giants off season, man. They bring them out. It's a big event, and then all they do is lip sync. Dude, they're faking it.
I know. Okay, real quick.
It. Whoa.
Is there a sleeper team on Bregman?
Okay. Well, I think maybe the Cubs would be a sleeper team. They could be I don't hear that.
Okay. Would you think, don't shoot me. Would you think the Giants are a sleeper team? They would be a sleeper team, right? They would be a sleeper team. They're not a favorite.
If he signed, but it's a moot point.
Just saying.
Oh, he's not lip syncing, Mike? Eric and I do that every night here. You didn't even know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
there we go. Forget about free agent signings. Let's talk of real estate and the Giants land acquisitions. It's what matters.
Mike, what does Kendrick Lamar sing? You tell me what he sings. The halftime show. Who would I like to see at the halftime show? How about the Beaches?
The who? The Beaches?
Yeah, I like the Beaches.
Why you got to call them names, man?
Some Springsteen. You get up there.
Oh,
Springsteen.
I'm out of them.
You don't like Springsteen? I went to see him last year. Oh, God, 2 years ago. Sorry. It was great. Sold out the Chase Center and put on a hell of a show. No, not a Drake fan. It's not my kind of music. Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Who's next? Next year, the Super Bowl halftime, Pharrell Williams. No, thank you. Come on. I want to be rocked. It's the Super Bowl. I want to be rocked out. Get me into the vibe. That's like when I go to the gym, which is like twice a year, by the way. When I go to the gymnasium, what happened to, I used to see people that you could hear the rock and roll coming out of their cans. They'd have their headphones on and you'd hear like AC/DC and you hear Guns N' Roses. Now I go to the gym and I'm listening to Kendrick Lamar. Come on. There's a time and a place. I want rock and roll. I want to be just belted with heavy music. Give me some good music, man. What about some Metallica at halftime, Eric? A little Bay Area flavor.
Dude, if they had Metallica playing at halftime, that would be freaking lit. That would be fantastic. That would be awesome, man.
Let's do a little poll. Yeah, before Vince, do me a little poll, Eric. Do me a poll. Metallica or Kendrick Lamar? Do me a little poll. Do me a little poll. Who would you rather see in the halftime? Kendrick Lamar, who you're going to be stuck with, or Glenn's choice, Metallica. Jesus. You imagine the lights go down, and you see all those white, the flash, I call them the flash bulbs,
the strobe
cameras in the stands, and then the lights, and now the bettercreditcards.com halftime show. Do. Oh, dude, I'd be off the couch. The hair would be standing up on my neck. That'd be great. And I'm going to be stuck with Jesus.
There it is. Okay, I put it out there.
I'll guarantee you one thing. Give me Metallica. There's no wardrobe malfunctions.
Metallica would be that would be absolutely incredible. That would be awesome.
Val says Metallica, thumbs down. Ooh.
Oh my God.
Val, you don't think Metallica's
Wow.
fitting for a halftime show?
Phew.
Oh my God, Eric, here's another one. Oh my Jesus. Bernice, I think, was going to go to one of the shows at Chase Center. How about some Jelly Roll?
The who?
Exactly, Jelly Roll. I think he's got more tattoos on his face than you and I could fit on our body. Isn't he? Is he all tattooed up?
Matter of fact, that's a great point. When he lit himself on fire? If I'm not mistaken, it was in Toronto where they lit himself on fire, pyrotechnics. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you remember when they burned the whole club down?
No, that was Great White.
Great White, and their lead singer passed away. I just interviewed him 2 years ago, and he passed away last year. Great White. Once bitten, twice shy.
Man, that was a mess, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even know Metallica. Gordo, you're telling the truth right there.
So, Eric, what is going to happen once we're about 5-6 days away? I think 5 maybe until the pitchers and catchers report.
Yeah. 4. The 11th. 4 days away, man.
And then what happens?
What's up, sports guy? Haven't seen you in a while, man.
Yeah, I think they report in 4 days, and I think 5 days they'll be on the field. Glenn, do you listen to any rap? Yeah, I listen to rap. I don't listen to Kendrick Lamar, though. So we're on the cusp of getting things going, Eric.
It's getting
When do you think will it be during the preseason that we start to have our druthers about this situation, or will it be during the start of the season? Will it be a few months in? When are we going to actually see people who are out there talking about the 95 win season and it all comes crumbling? When's it going to come crumbling down, Eric? During the preseason?
No, it doesn't crumble down. Here, let's take a look at this.
Come crumbling down the wall. Oh, the Beastie Boys. Like the Beastie Boys, Eric.
Here we go.
I can't stand it. I know you planned it. No sleep till.
Should we take a look at the non-roster invitee list? Highlighted by Bryce Eldridge.
Oh, Miguel DePozo, Eric.
For pitchers, don't know who Raymond Burgos. I don't know Miguel Del Pazzo. I don't know Miguel Diaz. I don't know Justin Garza. I don't know Antonio Jimenez. I know Joey Lou. I don't give a shit. I don't know Juan Mercedes. Wait, Juan Mercedes. I'm sorry. He's in the Giants farm. I don't know Chris Olivares. I don't know Joel Peguero. I don't know any Romero. I know of Ethan Small from last year. There's KY Tang. He was there last year. Cole Waits, I know about. Carson Wisenhunt.
Now, you know who make the team or at least be with the club? Ethan Small, Kaiwei Tang, Carson Wisenhunt. Why? Because it's safe, Eric.
Well, Wisenhunt's already he's safe. I think Cole Waits is safe as well.
They're
Kaiwei
safe.
Tang, I think, is on a minor league deal. So catchers, you got Logan Porter, Max Stassi. Wait, what happened to oh no, he's actually on the 40 man. The other guy that they just signed, the guy that got from Texas, right?
Oh, Jake Lamb. Whoa.
Nice, Ibrahim.
Couldn't have a nice preseason without a Jake Lamb.
Infielders, Sergio Alcantara, Bryce Eldridge, Christian Koss, and Jake Lamb. There are your non-roster invitees. Any of those names other than Bryce Eldridge?
Oh, here we go,
Any
Eric.
of those guys? Does any of those guys do anything for you?
Not really. Eldridge.
Anybody?
Eldridge, and you got to be intrigued by Wisenhunt, right? But
Yeah.
hey, Jay Farrell, he's going to get you all excited and tingly, Eric. He says, Jake Lamb, interesting as utility guy. If his bat can come correct. If his bat can come correct.
Cavino's on a minor league deal, Roundtable. That's why. He's not invited to spring training. I think he's just on a minor league deal. Correct? I think.
Oh, come on, Morgan.
Max.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I was saying. And the outfield's pretty much shored up already, Eric. What'd you see? You know what?
Yeah, no outfilders, which is good. Yeah, like Dan says.
We've got an abundance of outfielders to begin. We're going to have outfielders who don't even get to play, Eric. I know you want to see Luis Matos out there. There's a prime example.
Yeah. Love to.
I think one of the key, one of the big question, Eric, we're not discussing nearly enough. One of the prime questions I think we have to address this preseason, this season is once and for all, what the hell are we doing with Luciano? And what position? Yeah. Well, I mean, where will we target? If he's going to stay in the organization, where do you target him?
They're saying the outfield. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know. That's a great question.
Poor guy. Really, poor guy.
You know what? He has to play. So start him off in AAA, right? Don't have him on the roster as a freaking bench player. All you're doing is hurting him. The young guys need to play. They don't need to be sitting on the bench. They don't. The guys that need to sit on the bench are guys like Yastrzemski and Wilmer and who else? I'm not going to say Jake Lamb because I don't even want him on the damn bench. But Luciano needs to play every single day. Has to. He has to.
And that's why I agree with Sleepy. I've been saying let him go somewhere where he can play. I think Miami would be a prime landing spot, or Pittsburgh even somewhere like that. Just let him play. Right. You know who could steal him away and use him effectively? They always seem to get the most out of their players is Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, yeah.
Hitting in where they're playing a little bandbox. They're playing in a small stadium.
The Giants didn't do themselves any justice by not having a position for Luciano, because if anyone's drafting him, what are they going to do? I mean, they're going to have to basically train him up on whatever position they think that he's going to succeed at, because the Giants failed miserably at identifying where Luciano should be playing as far as a position.
Oh, don't get me going about playing him.
Yeah.
This is something else, Eric. They've had their opportunity to address situations and failed miserably. A la last September. They just failed miserably.
Right.
We should have seen him play when he was called up. When was it? Sometime early or late August? Mid to late August he was called up. Luciano. Remember he was
he was called up he was up here in June, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was back and forth. He stayed up around mid-August.
That was in June. I think it was June. It was around June. And then he was up at the club for a while. Then they demoted him.
Yeah.
Then he came back up again
sometime in August.
And they did that because that's when they had sent Soler packing, and he was supposed to be the DH. It wound up not being.
But he should have played.
Yeah.
He should have put either. And hey, if people don't agree with me and they say, no, you shouldn't have played him every day. Then you should have just found something to do with him, release him, trade him, do whatever it takes. You either play him or you don't play him at this point.
Right.
Especially in September last year. Guys, we weren't going anywhere.
No.
We won like 8 games, Eric, out of 10 or something. And all of a sudden, we're back in we're only 5 out.
Yeah.
Trying to catch 5. Like, we're 5 out, but trying to catch 5 teams. That don't work. Jesus. That's our Giant fans, though. Eric, if we win tomorrow and everyone in the division loses, we can pick up a game.
Right.
And then the next day, if everyone else loses, but then everyone wins and you lose, you're back to square one. You're chasing your tail at that point. Anyway, I thought that September was a missed opportunity.
It was.
For Giants.
It was. Absolutely.
And you and I both felt pretty strongly that was the route they were going to take. Play the young guys.
Yeah, well, we thought.
Given, I know it sounds silly in a way that you know how tough we talked about that September schedule last year, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're not going to make the postseason and you play the young guys, they're kind of in the heat of the fire there. You're going to play good teams.
Yeah.
Again, missed opportunity. That's the way I feel.
And the problem is, and I think you could even go higher. You can even go beyond Farhan to this extent for the simple fact that the Giants organization, I'm talking about the ownership, should have known better that Farhan is probably going to make moves to try to save his own ass rather than what's going to be best for certain players in the development. You know what I'm saying? He was doing what he could. Talking about Farhan, he was going to do whatever he can to try to keep his job rather doing what's best for the players. And the Giants should have just let him go after the 23 season instead of bringing him back for 24. They held on to Farhan 1 year too long. Whatever. Yeah, 1 year too long. That way, it was just a huge mess. And who suffered because of it? People like Luciano and Matos and Schmidt.
Absolutely.
Those are the guys who suffered to a certain extent. Harrison, because I think they kind of rushed Harrison to a little bit because they needed to have guys come up there and perform. So again, that's what you get. You don't get you don't make those changes. A lot more people suffer because of it.
Couple of back-to-backs. The writing was on the wall when they gave the shortstop job to Nick Ahmed over Luciano, and then immediately Mike comes in with David Villar and Brett Wisely. They're still on this team.
I don't like Villar. What's up, Ryan? Wisely. Okay, I could see him. I could see Wisely being a bench, please. To an extent, he's an older guy. I could see him being because he could play third, short, and second. He could. Schmidt, same way. He could play third, short, and second. I mean, both of those guys can do it. One's a righty, one's a lefty. They'd be fine. As everyday players, maybe not so much. I would love to have seen Schmidt get his run as an everyday player, but it just doesn't seem to be in the cards.
Yeah.
Basabi, I don't even know. I don't know who that is either, Mike.
They're not going to add another lefty for the bullpen.
Yeah, they are. Joey Lou, I don't give a shit. Watch. It's going to be Joey Lucchesi. It's going to be Lucchesi.
Oh, I assumed he meant, are we going to go out and get someone? No, because Buster already said, nope. What you see?
No, they signed Lucchesi earlier, right? Towards the beginning of the offseason, somewhere around there. And then they let Tyler Rogers go. So I would not be surprised if you see Joey Lucchesi as a lefty in the bullpen. It's stupid.
San Francisco Giants are forcing me to go out and buy a baseball prospectus this year, Eric, because I don't know. Is this going to be a situation where I won't know half the players on the freaking team? Joey what? Casey?
Lucchesi, I think.
Lucchesi.
Is it Lucchesi or Lucchesi? Maybe Lucchesi.
Who cares? Eric?
I don't give a shit.
Know his name. I have a feeling he ain't going to be here long enough to even care.
Right.
Lucchesi. Oh yeah, we all got to Basabe. Got to get Basabe.
I have no idea.
God help us all. Somebody was it Dan brought up, they don't even have a marketing team that can come up with a new slogan. Giants baseball. I think it should be Giants baseball. No one likes it.
No one likes it.
Well, Greg does.
Hey, he wants to be positive. That's fine. And hey, whatever gets you through the season, right?
Yeah.
Robert,
Greg
whatever
does.
gets you through the season.
Vince does. Although Vince, maybe Vince doesn't.
We'll see.
He hasn't showed up yet, so maybe he don't like it either. Maybe he's just
Maybe
bowed down now and goes, you know, those guys, those clowns on Giant Sports Talk Live, they are correct. They know what you're talking about. Actually, if you put half of your thoughts and half of my thoughts together, you got a solid thought. Right? That's why we're a two-man team.
There you go. Oh my gosh.
Where's Greg? He's over at Oracle. He's sitting in front of the front gate. He's out by the Willie Mays in the Willie Mays Plaza waiting for opening day.
That was pretty funny. I don't know. Greg, he's out and about. I know they had a show. No, that was was it yesterday or today? I can't remember. It was yesterday.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Opposing batters are going to chase Lowy Lucchesi off the. Okay, hold on. Opposing batters are going to chase Joey Lucchesi off the mound. There you go. I like it. Anticipating, he's gonna start opening. Yeah, he'll be your
opening day, but I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna start the home opener, but for opening day, yes, that should be Webb in Cincinnati.
Jesus.
He's coming.
The home opener.
He's coming. He's
The
coming.
home opener is going to be Harrison or Hicks. What a great way for your home.
Harrison, I could
usher in the new season at Oracle Park. Now pitching.
Now Harrison, I wouldn't be so. I mean, look, he's starting off the season. He's probably going to be okay. We'll see.
Got to be Harrison. They're going to go with Webb, Ray, Verlander. Or is it a 4-game series?
I don't know.
You might be stuck with Hicks. Interesting.
Pitching in Cincinnati is not pleasant either. It's a freaking bandbox.
Small stadium. They got that thing that catches fire out in the right field.
Yeah, whoops. Yeah, the fireworks. Or no, it shoots out flames and it wind up catching on fire.
It got fire one night during a Giants game.
Oops.
Yeah, I was watching a Giants game a few years ago now. Pardon me. Cincinnati Reds. 3-game series. Then we go to Houston for 3. That's 6. You might see Webb opening day, road and home, Eric. If we throw in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus, there's a day off on the 28th. We open on the 27th. We have the day off on the 28th. Then Saturday, Sunday. Jesus, living on the West Coast is such a pregame show starts at like 8 in the morning. Ugh. Houston for 3, Seattle, Cincinnati. That's we got a tough month, Eric.
Yeah,
Houston,
April
Seattle,
is not going to be easy. There's gonna be some obstacles to overcome.
Cincinnati home and away. The Yankees, the Phillies, the Yankees, the Phillies, the Dodgers. There's your 2 weeks.
That's tough, dude.
All on the road, I might add.
That one is tough. Phillies, Yankees, and Dodgers all away. That's going to be tough. Was that at the end of the month?
That's not far into it, Eric. We start with, again, we're on the road in Cincy and Houston. We come back. We open up on the 4th of April, hosting Seattle for 3, Cincinnati for 3.
And then go to LA, right?
10th is a travel day. That would be your Thursday travel day. All right. So you're not far into the season. 1, 2, 3. You're 4 series in. You're on the road on the 11th of April to play the Yankees in the House of Pain, Philadelphia. So the Yankees, Philadelphia, and the Dodgers all on the road. The Philly series is actually 4. So that's a 10-game road trip. Yankees, Philadelphia, LA Angels. Let's see how they might get eaten up and spit out.
Reds are gonna. Hey, Marcus, Reds, you be careful about the Reds, man. The Reds, I think, are going to be better this year. You got Tito, that's the skipper now. They got a decent rotation, and they got a young. Club that are probably ready to start turning the corner. Encarnacio Strand, he was out for most of the season because of his wrist, but he's going to be in there. Of course, you got the dynamic Ellie De La Cruz. We'll see if they work on his swing. I mean, they got a good damn team, man, and their starting staff isn't. They got Ladello, they got Hunter Green, they got what's the other guy? I'm missing somebody. I forgot they picked up Gavin Lux. I mean, he's not great, but he's going to be a piece. I'm telling you, the Reds are not going to be slouches.
Any truth to this one that Heyward is signed?
I haven't seen it. Hold on. I have not seen it.
Armand, the regular. Thanks for coming in again tonight. Drops that
Armand's always in there, man. Oh, there it is. MLB trade rumors.
It's done.
It's not done. It's hold on. Let me find it. Come on, man. Oh, you're pissing me off.
I usually do.
It freaking just came across. Where the
This
hell is it?
Just happened.
Just happened. Yeah, I just saw it come across, but it's not on my damn. Oh, what is
Senior.
going on here?
Senior coming in hard.
There it is, right here. So they picked up both Connor Joe and Jason Heyward. Giants could easily lose
And
90.
now, another Giant Sports Talk Live hot take from senior softball games.
90 games. Holy crap. Could easily lose. I don't think you're saying that they're going to. There's just that potential, right?
That's still a pretty hot take. 90 game losing season. Wow.
What's the money on? Yeah, let's take a look what the money is. Jason Heyward, it doesn't show. They have reached an agreement. More to come. All right, we'll probably be getting it before the show ends. I'm pretty sure we will get the numbers on what is going on with Justin Heyward.
Is that your boy back? Was that your boy? Was that your boy? The picture just came up on the screen there. Is that your boy?
That guy's awesome.
He just fell off the weight. Give me the weights, Eric. Give me the weights. Let's do some heavy lifting on a Friday night here in Giants Sports Talk.
You say heavy lifting? Heavy lifting.
I ain't as good as I once was, but I was good as I ever was. Man, you know I can't.
5 times. And they got to be full.
Oh, shit. Hell no. Get this shit.
Never grows old. Never grows old.
It never does, man. Never.
And you know the good thing about that, video, we're going to use that all year. when we go into New York and we get beat 8-1. How we doing tonight, Eric? Whoa! I can just see it. We're going to get a lot of play. Is that one made the rounds? I asked you the other day. Did you send it out yet, Eric? You got to send that one out. I love it.
Oh, hold on 1 second. I got to do this. I got some. Hold on. Let me do this.
Yeah, everybody's poo-pooing on the Padres, Eric, but Cliff says Arise, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Cronenworth, Bogarts, Heyward, Diaz, and now Joe. Solid lineup for a team that didn't spend in free agency. And some people are poo-pooing on it. And you know what, Eric? Isn't it? It's just ironic. The irony is thick as bugs on a bumper. You've got everybody saying that, oh, my God, all these terrible signings. But then the signings we make are, oh, my God, we got Verlander, Eric. Oh, my God, ace in the hole. He's going to have a great year. Everybody else's signings suck, but ours are just wonderful.
I want to see something.
I try to be I can't even attempt, Eric, to show a sign of positivity. I'm so flustered by this whole operation.
Hold on, I'm just taking
it. The only good news, I'm getting another Hawaiian shirt this year.
Yeah, the only difference between Jason Heyward and Mike Yastrzemski is the defense. That's it. The offensive numbers are pretty damn similar.
How old is Yaz? He's not getting any younger.
34. Yaz is 34.
You're not getting younger, Eric.
We could do this. Hey, guys, we could do this.
Going to be sugar in the tank with him soon.
Here, I'll just show you this real quick. If you look at the offensive numbers, Yaz has a little bit better OPS, 742 to 695. But the average, about the same. On base, about the same. Slugging, kind of similar with a little bit of an edge to Yaz. Oh, I'm sorry, slugging. OPS, a little bit of an advantage to Mike. OPS plus, Yaz is just a tad above average, and Jason Heyward's below. So bat-wise, somewhat similar, but defense is an issue. Defense is an issue. Jason Heyward's defense stinks. Period. So it is what it is. Yaz is better. Correct. Yes, sir. When you're looking at that, yes, correct. Overall, Yaz is better. But Yaz is still a bench player. That's where he should be. But is he? No, probably not. Probably going to start off the season. Start off in right field. All right, let me make sure we got this. Good. No, you have not, OG. Not yet. Oh, let's see. Paul. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. All right. Here we go, guys. Gonna have a special treat for you. I know you guys have been wanting to hear it for a little while, but we're gonna have a special guest coming on right now. Vince Russo will be joining us here momentarily. Let's intro with our little song.
And now, another special guest appearance on Giant Sports Talk Live.
All right, here we go. What's up, Vince?
You guys are killing me, man.
See what the San Francisco Giants are doing to this guy, Eric. Another year. Look, a lot grayer.
Hey, listen, first of all, I want to say I've never met Glenn before.
How you doing, bro?
Glenn, I got
the first bro in. Hey,
Glenn, I got to tell you this. I've been watching you and Eric. You are very entertaining, Glenn. I am very, very entertained by you. Seriously, bro. I think you're a great broadcaster. I really, really enjoy you on this show. I really mean that.
There must be a however coming.
No, there's no however. It's just I'm watching you guys. You guys are killing me, man. You guys are killing me. Glenn, let me ask you this first, just so I get a little bit of a background. Because, Glenn, I really started following the Giants. I'm 64, Glenn. So like I grew up in New York. So I really started watching baseball with the Miracle Mets in 1969. The following year, 1970, is when I really started following the Giants. 71, they went to the playoffs against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, I got into that whole thing. So I'm just curious, Glenn, how far do you go back as a Giants fan?
Mid-70s.
Okay, so we're pretty much.
And I don't profess to know. Probably. See, when you grow up, you're fortunate. You grow up in a market at least, where there was probably more coverage. I grew up in Cape Breton, a little island on the East Coast, and I've said to Eric countless times, with the Giants playing on the West Coast, my dad would come home 5:00 in the afternoon. I'd run, get the box score. That was how you got your stats, man, the box score. And then because they'd already gone to press on a Monday night game, I'd get the box score on Wednesday.
Yes.
So I don't profess to, have a vast knowledge. I got all the media guides and, I watch clips and I love to, I'm always a guy, as as a Wilmer guy. I like the underdog. I was always a fan of Chris Spire. Remember Chris?
Oh yeah, of course. No, I think Spire wore 35. Did Spire?
And he went to Montreal Expos. See, I got a lot of Expos coverage.
Yeah,
and Blue Jay coverage. Yeah, because I grew up in Canada. But anyway,
but this Eric, I thought Dan Cucamonga was bad. What's his last name? Dan Cucamonga.
Coach Emilio.
I thought Coach Emilio was bad. Eric is becoming 10 times. I swear to God, Glenn, let me talk to you for a second, Glenn. Because all I heard from Eric and Cucamonga last year, this is all you ever heard from them. I swear to God. Play the kids. Put Matos out there. Play the kids. So now we've made a commitment to play the kids and sign Alonso. Sign Alonso. Yes, bro. Yes.
No.
You guys were all about playing the kids. Okay, bro. Buster, we're going to see what we got. We're going to play the kids. Buster's going to rebuild the system just like when he was playing with Crawford and Belt and everybody came up from the farm system. We're going to stop. We're going to see what we got. We're going to build this organization back up. And you want to go out and sign Alonso so he can opt out of his contract next year. You're worse than Cucamonga.
No.
I mean, seriously, Eric, you would have won Matos. You must have said play Matos 80,000 times last year.
I'm saying that now. Vince, Matos needs to start in right field, not Yaz.
Okay, I'm with you there, but you Alonso?
Okay, this is where I was going with Alonso. Bryce Elgis is coming. He's going to be.
Glenn, he's backtracking. Glenn, I got him.
He's on it. Dude, you guys are on your own right now.
Okay.
This is great.
The reason why I wanted Alonso, because we need a middle of the order bat. You need a middle of the order bat. Have Alonso at first base, and then you can have him at DH afterwards. That's right, because he's an awful first baseman.
Eric, I would rather not. I'm with Buster when it comes to this, bro. I would not want to have Alonso at all if the only way I'm going to get him is to have an opt-out next year. I don't want him at all then because you know why, bro? Then we're going to start all over again. Just like we did with freaking Blake. These guys with their opt-outs after 1 year, I am 1,000% with Buster on that, bro. There is no point where we're going to get all excited about a guy, and it's a lose-lose situation. If he has a good year, you're going to lose him next year. If he shits the bed, you're stuck with him next year. It's a no-win situation, man.
Like, you know who I really want, though? The guy I've been really calling for ever since all this is going on? Alonso would have been nice, but would you be opposed to having Bregman at second base?
Yes.
You would? You know what you want? You want Bregman?
I'll tell you why. Because what did Fitzgerald play? 90 games last year?
Correct.
Bro, let's see what this guy can do over a season. I mean, he earned that last year, and I think that's what Buster's doing. Buster knows, man, when they won those 3 world championships, he knows what brought him to the dance. And what
pitching and defense
and the homegrown, it was all homegrown talent. Listen, man, I got to let's be honest, Glenn. Let's be honest here, okay? Here's what screwed the Giants up. First of all, that 107 win season screwed them up. I still don't know how they pull that out their ass. Like that season, was ridiculous. And that season screwed them up because Kapler thought he had it all figured out. You know, Farhad thought he had it all figured out with the analytics and this, that, and the other thing. They had shit figured out. Everything went their way that year. And they tried to keep going down the same road. And 2 years in a row, we got a mediocre 500 team, which they were in the first place.
Created false expectations.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. So the bottom line is, let's be honest here. This is how I'm looking at it as a Giant fan. And if you disagree, guys, that's fine. Bro, this should be a rebuild. There's no question about it. But what they're trying to do is be competitive. Right. And I appreciate that because, come on, man, we're looking at the division. No one's going to touch the Dodgers. And, yeah, man, they're behind San Diego and they're behind, Arizona. But, man, when I'm looking at, like, the Central, I mean, there's an opportunity that if you are creative enough, if you are competitive enough, if you're hovering around 500, and then maybe at the trade deadline, You can make a trade or two that might get you in. I'd rather them be competitive than just say, okay, man, this is a straight rebuild. We're going to be 62 and 100, and you're just going to have to suck it up throughout this entire season.
Okay, fair. And matter of fact, Kelly, senior softball games, Kelly from last year's with the baseball fantasy, he was saying they should have just done a rebuild right off the rip. The extension to Chapman and then the signing of Adames, it made you think they're almost like, hey, you know what? We're gonna go. Granted, trying to win NL West is going to be difficult, but at least be very competitive in the wild card.
Hey, Glenn, let me ask you a question. Were you in this fantasy league last year?
Yes.
Oh, Glenn, were you in it?
Yeah.
Don't ask. Don't
What
ask.
what a scam. What a scam that thing was, Glenn. Are you freaking what a freaking scam that Eric and his buddy Cucamonga? What a freaking scam that thing was, Glenn. Hey, Glenn, let me ask you a question because
I'm working on 25 right now.
don't lose my phone number when it comes to fantasy this year, Eric. Lose my freaking phone number. I'm one and done with you guys. Hey, Glenn, let me ask you this because Glenn's very entertaining. Eric is play Matos hire Alfonso the next year. Glenn, let me ask you a question. We're looking at this team right now. Okay, they're set going into spring training. They're set. We got pitches and catches. What, Eric? Wednesday?
Wednesday, right? 4 days. 4 days.
Okay, Glenn, what would you have done differently in this offseason?
Boy, that's a good question. You let me think about. You give me 60 seconds to think about that while I rebound. I got to ask you.
Go ahead.
You gave us a kind of your perspective, what you kind of project. I think it's what you see is what you got.
Right.
What you see is what you're going to get during the season. What were your thoughts when you saw them sign the 42-year-old starter?
I'm good with that. I'll tell you why. And me and Eric spoke a little bit about this. Mm-hmm. Bro, they got so many young pitchers on that staff. His value is going to be working with those kids, man. We're talking about Verlander, right?
Verlander, yep.
That's going to be his value. His value is going to be working with that staff all year. And I don't think you can put a price tag on that because they got so many young, inexperienced arms. Bro, those kids sitting next to him in the dugout day in and day out, I think it is going to make them so much better.
Can I ask you a question about this to that point? Can't Logan Webb, can't Robbie Ray also fulfill those same duties as being a quote unquote mentor, showing how to be done, how to be a big leaguer? Because I don't like to see Hicks in the rotation. I think he could excel in the bullpen. I want to see Harrison and Birdsong both in the rotation. I don't want to see Hicks in there. I know he's trying to want to be a starter, but I think for the betterment of the team, have those young guys, have Harrison, have Birdsong be part of that. And then again, to your point, I understand Verlander, he's got a resume and he will bring value. I get it. I'm just saying, I think the Giants already have those guys already in-house to fulfill those.
I wouldn't argue with that, Eric, but I'll tell you what, bro. I'll tell you what, because I think Harrison was a little disappointing last year.
He was.
And I don't have a problem at all with Harrison being forced to compete for a job in spring training. Okay. He's got to now compete with Birdsong for that fifth spot. Okay. Let him get a little hungry. Let there be a threat that it is not a given where he's just not penciled in as the number 5 starter. And you know what? Maybe we'll see a different version of the guy this year.
You know what? I like that point that you make, Vince. I never even thought about that. Make it a competition between.
That's right.
Because both of them are under contract. One of them are going to be sent packing, so to speak. One of them is going to be in AAA. One of them is going to be in the starting rotation. Yeah. Make that competition. Make them work for it. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So, Glenn, what would you have done differently, my friend?
The one thing that has been just eating at me, and again, I pulled up as a fan of the game. I don't have to cheer for the greatest players. I'm a Wilmer Flores guy going back to his Mets days. Then he went to Arizona. We're lucky. I get to see him wear I got my number 41 going tonight here. I can't go a day without throwing on a t-shirt, a jersey, a hat with 41. I cheer for my guy. But that being said, I have made it clear that you're not. I think they keep missing, and I don't like this. Write it off. Well, wait till, we get it another year. We can go. We don't need any. We need a first baseman. Lamont Wade Jr., Wilmer Flores playing first base. Where are the RBI totals? You got to have RBIs and you got to score runs to win games. Third base. We never score. Well, he's never, 180 RBI season from Chapman? So your corners. Where's the RBIs? I just need, and I get really pissed off. Eric, I know Eric takes the other side. He goes, well, we got Eldridge coming in 26. Yeah. What if he doesn't come in 26?
That's a gamble.
Don't like writing off. Well, we don't need a first baseman this year. We can wait till next year. Well, that's not the way I run my business. It's let's get her done now. And I think they missed the opportunity this year to add where they needed to add. That's my biggest concern.
I think, who I was hoping they would have gotten, and it would not have cost them a lot of money, and it would have been one and done. Not like paying Alonso out the wazoo, and then he's gone next year. See, bro, I was really hoping they would have got Goldschmidt to fill that role for 1 year.
That would have been a nice.
Just 1 year. It wouldn't have cost them a ton. He walks next year. That's fine. No problem. But they still have whatchamacallit out there, bro, that I swear. The Yankees. What's his face? Rizzo. Why not?
You like, I
Not
don't
big
know.
on him, but.
Man.
Well, let me ask you. If guys around Major League Baseball look at our roster.
Yeah.
Do you think it scares them?
It doesn't scare them, but they're competitive.
Now, first base, that's where I'm harping on about.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Lamont Wade Jr. Is Lamont Wade Jr. a starting first baseman on many teams in baseball?
No, he's not.
But that's why, my God.
Yeah.
That's
But let me ask you this, Glenn, about your boy Wilmer. Does he bounce back?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Injury, not just injury riddle. He was a write-off last year.
Yep.
And everybody looks at his stats. Oh, my God, he was terrible last year. He didn't play last year, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. He didn't play. I said he'd hit 36 home runs. But that would be based over, he has to play a whole season. The guy plays platoon, and he hits 2 or 3 years in a row. He had over 20.
Yeah.
So if you play 80, 90 games, you had 23 home runs. What are you going to do over a whole season? Again, missed opportunity. I think that's what I call this team. It's a team of missed opportunity. Yep. You said about Eric wanting to play young guys. I don't know if you caught us earlier in the show. We were going on about that. Eric and I said last August, we had looked ahead to the September schedule, and it was a tough schedule. And we weren't making the playoffs. But I said, we got to play the young guys, and they're going to play against good ball clubs. Let's see what we got. But no, Farhan, your old pal, your old buddy, Farhan, he says, we're going to play the young guys. Well, then he came to the fork in the road. He has to veer out. Oh, we've won 5 in a row. We're going to go with the Confortos of the world. This team does not get on a lane and stay there.
Yeah.
They're all over the place, man.
Do you know what move I really think kind of started this road to 500? And man, to this day, I think the move that started this trajectory that we're on is that year that they didn't dump Bumgarner at the trade deadline.
Oh, yeah, in 2019, I think it was, right?
In their warped mind, they thought they still had a chance of getting in the playoffs, and they didn't. And they held on to him. They got nothing for him. Then he went, bro. If they got 3-4 minor leaguers for him at that point in time, man, we'd be in fine shape. So let me ask you guys a question.
Wait a sec. I'll do you one better while we're on that topic. You don't have to go back very far. what the hell was holding on to Snell for at the trade deadline?
Snell, Rodon, those are the two mistakes at the trade deadline as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They could have really been.
And you heard us talk on the show about the Giants have they have a love affair.
Yeah.
An internal love affair.
Yeah. Yeah.
They won't part with players. Puster even said on KMBR last week that he's, quite frankly, he's timid. Well, if I trade a guy and he works out, then it makes me look bad. Yeah. Like, come on, you gotta have balls of steel.
That's that's where they are with Yaz right now.
You got Ibrahim.
That's exactly where they are with Yaz. Yeah.
He donates 10, says Vince is always great. He might rename us and this channel Debbie Downer Sports Talk Live. Yeah, maybe
that $10 comes to me, Eric. Right
on.
That comes to me. I'll give you my PayPal after the show. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys think this is the plan? Say we go to midseason, we go to the All-Star break. Say we're barely 500. Outside shot of making the playoffs. Outside shot. Is that when we bring Eldridge in? Because I'm thinking there's got to be some kind of a plan for first base. I can't believe for 1 second they think they're going to go the entire year with Flores and Wade at first base. I can't believe that for a second.
I agree. So. I think he comes up later in the season. As long as he's producing like he's supposed to be at first base, because his bat can play. It's the matter of his glove. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
I had no problem with him starting opening day. If he has a hell of a training camp, if he earns the job.
No.
Eric, if he earns the job.
Nope. Yes, he could go out there, smash 20 home runs, hit 400. But he might not be able to pick it at first base. He's got to be able to play position.
Eric is all about we don't have to baseball. As long as we got good defense.
Baseball.
You know what he's like, Glenn? He's like
baseball.
He's like that Chickamauga guy. He hung around with Dan Chickamauga too long. That's why he's Glenn. Me. Hey, look, here he is, Debbie Downer. Debbie Downer in the house. These two guys, Glenn. Hey, Glenn.
Oh, I know.
Glenn, listen to me. Glenn,
I know.
Glenn, look at me. Let these half do a show, and let me and you will do a show, Glenn. Glenn, let's you and I do, because these two. Glenn, let me ask you. Mr. Chickamauga knows what this is. Do you know what this is, Mr. Chickamauga? This is the Italian horn. This is the Italian horn. And you two guys, with all your negativity, you give the Giants the Italian horn before the season ever starts, bro. You give them the Italian horn. Dan, I watch your show, Dan. You're no different, Dan. You guys give them the evil eye, before.
Hey, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me get this bro talk in here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. May I remind you, you came on NorCal Sports last year network and said, Farhan and the Giants, you guys got it all wrong. You're nothing but Debbie Downers. And Eric and I said they're going nowhere.
They're going nowhere.
May I remind you, Dan Chickamauga, you cheated to win fantasy baseball, bro. You cheated, bro, making deals with the guy that was in last place, bro, thinking that you know what? I swear, Eric, let me tell you something. If the whatchamacallit, bro, if the payoff was high in that league last year, I would have been going out of my mind. But the fact that you won $50 if you won the league, man, I never seen a guy cheat. And I've been playing fantasy baseball for 20 years, bro. 20 years. I never seen a guy cheat like you cheated last year, bro.
What did I do?
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Hey, my job is to go out and get the best players.
Yeah.
Hey, the guy above you gave me Shohei Ohtani.
Hey, listen, Wait a minute. Was the guy above the guy that was trading with you? Was Glenn?
I made 2 trades with him.
With
2 trades.
Oh my God, bro!
2 trades. But Eric, who was the guy who made the trade and gave Dan all his best players?
Oh man,
For guys who were hurt.
What a
Oh,
nightmare!
yeah.
What a nightmare! What a nightmare, Dan. And you know what the thing is, Dan? Here's the sad thing. You screwed a paisan, man. I'm a fellow Italian, bro. I'm a fellow Italian, Dan, and you did me that way on fantasy baseball, man.
That made it all the better.
Yeah.
Oh man, Vince, you finished first, right? You
No, I
finished
finished. He finished first. Cucamonga, man.
Who was third?
I was.
Really?
We were tied for second and third. It was a tie for second and third.
They
That's
tied
what
for
it was.
second. Yeah.
Dan traded his way up. Vince and Dilly, I couldn't even get a response. That's one thing.
Exactly. I couldn't trade with those guys.
You know how many emails I sent out, and I got up every morning, and for a cheapy league like this, I put in I don't know how many hours, and nobody would even respond. I send out, hey, want to make a trade? Hello? Hello? Reply. Nobody would respond.
Yeah, I always respond to trades.
And then I said, how many? Dilly's been on this show in the last week. I said, Dilly, did I send you 60 trades? Maybe 40. I go, he said no to everyone. This guy, he wouldn't make a trade to save his life.
Glenn was taking the season like it was the tortoise and the hare. He was like,
oh, I was the Mad Dash.
Yeah,
like
2 weeks in, I told you guys I would get to first, and you got to first, and you were out of moves by the end of the month.
And here's another thing, and here's another beef I got. I'm just airing all my grievances.
Okay.
Oh, hey, let me speak to Glenn for a second, because I have a feeling me and Glenn are going to go do our own show.
It's like fucking February 7th Festivus for the rest of us. The airing of grievances tonight.
Glenn, let me ask you a question, Glenn.
What do you want to know?
Freaking guys, Debbie down a 1 and Debbie down a 2, right? They bring me on their show last year. We have a good time on their show, right? Yeah. Oh, then all of a sudden, Glenn, we're not talking. We're not talking. So now I'm stuck in the middle. I can't do Dan's show because it's going to piss Eric off. I can't do Eric's show because it's going to piss Dan off because they're fighting like 2 freaking women, Glenn. And I'm like, okay, guys, now I can't do anybody's show because I'm going to get the other guy pissed off.
I get you. No,
you guys. What's the matter with you?
We're all good, man. We're all good now. That's the good thing.
I'm giving myself a headache over here. I've been on here 10 minutes with you guys.
I know you're all red.
Jeez, if you and I did a show, who would have cardiac arrest first?
Oh man, dude,
I started doing this show with him, with Eric, with Romo here in August. And now I'm in my fucking heart medication.
Heart medication, of course, man. Of course.
Yeah, the doctor's like, you got to get a little less stress. My wife's like,
my God,
he does Giant Sports Talk Live. And they're like,
good stuff.
Gotta prescribe you something heavy.
Can we let the chips fall where they may, please?
The Glenn line. Hey,
please, guys.
We're all good now. Everything is perfect now.
You got Dan's ripping Buster. We haven't played one game and he's ripping Buster. I'm like, are you serious, bro?
My dog is named Buster.
Yeah, your dog's named Buster.
I told Eric earlier in the show, you know why I like you? I said, it's like he does the show from an Elks Lodge. You got bobbleheads, you got puppets. And do I see a Ralphie? I see Jackie Gleason over there smiling.
Yeah, there he is. Come on,
Jackie. Oh, I just said to Eric on the show last night, we were signing off. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to go watch some honeymooners.
Yes, there you go. See, we got to do a show, Glenn. Let's do a show.
I love Jackie. I'm not even finished my other book yet about fantasy. And what am I reading now? I'm reading my.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Big fan.
Big fan. Mark Carney. He was fantastic. I don't know if you guys remember that episode on Twilight Zone. where you played the
Santa
drunk
Claus.
Santa.
Yeah.
The drunk Santa. He was fantastic.
Guys,
Yeah.
Dan Cucamongo, can we give Buster a chance, bro? Can we give the dude a chance, man?
Look, he took over the job. He didn't seem completely prepared to do what he needed to do. I believe he should have never been president of baseball ops. I think he should have hired a guy that could become the president of baseball ops, and Buster oversees him and says, hey, look, I'm over your shoulder. You report to me, and everything you do, I want you to run through me, because then he could have got somebody experienced. But he hires the guy, Menaeson, who was a Farhan hire, who was an assistant general manager. And you're running, this is not the, the Savannah Bananas where you're, just trying out guys. I mean, this is not the 18th, 23rd ranked market team. This is the 5th ranked market. This is the team with the most wins in Major League Baseball history. And they keep messing it up. Look, Buster could be great. I think it's going to be a while. I don't think I think he's finding out that this isn't easy. And I think his plan is to maybe play the young guys, and I'm fine with that. But just come out and say it. We're going to play the young guys. But he signs Adames after signing Chapman, and you're thinking, oh, wow, they're going for it.
Right.
Now we're going to go get Burns. Oh, maybe there's Alonso or Bregman in this thing. Look, I'm either this way or I'm one or the other. Either spend close to $300 million or break it all down. Stop running down the middle lane and ending up at 500 and then drafting in the middle and never getting anybody. If Eldridge hits, that will be a huge plus because they drafted him like 17th, 19th, whatever. Usually don't hit that good on guys except for the top 5 to 10 guys are usually your stars in baseball. So it happens. Guys draft later, but rarely. So my thing is pick a darn lane and go for it. I'm fine if they want to play the young guys.
But I think they did pick a lane because, Buster's going to play the kids. They didn't have a shortstop.
I'm fine with Adames. They didn't have a shortstop.
Okay, right. We're going to play the kids, but we don't have a shortstop. So we're going to hire a shortstop, and we're not going to do the opt-out business. We're going to get a shortstop for the next 7 years. Okay. Then we're going to get a former Cy Young Hall of Famer, veteran pitcher to work with this young staff. Bro, I think the plan is in place. I think it was always to play the young kids and give the young kids a shot. They needed a shortstop. There was nobody to put in that position. Oh, good. You cut his mic, Eric? Good. That's the best thing you could have done.
I did it myself. I did it
Okay.
myself.
Oh,
I think
shit.
it's just, I agree with you. I've said all along that Adames was a guy they had to sign. They didn't have a shortstop. But you're signing Chapman. He's going to be 32. You're basically saying this year's probably a throwaway year. You're playing the young guys. What's on the horizon for the 26 season? I don't see anything in the minor leagues except Eldridge that says they're going to be good next year. So why is Chapman on this team?
Well, because
what are you doing with just pay him $25 million when that could go to somebody else, like a pitcher?
Why do we have such hate to Chapman? Who's
don't
gonna,
have hate for Chapman. I just don't. I think he's missed.
Who's going to play third base? Hal Lanier?
How about Casey Schmidt, who you drafted in the second round?
Bro, you that's another. Let me talk to Dan for a second. Dan is on this Casey Schmidt bandwagon. Bro, the dude hasn't hit from day one. When he first came up, the first 2 weeks the guy hit, he hasn't hit since then, bro.
Let me ask you something. Who had a better batting average last year, Schmidt or Chapman?
What now?
Who had a better batting average last year, Schmidt or Chapman?
And Chapman had 3 times more at bats than he did.
Of course he did, but he did.
Really, Dan?
Point is, you're not giving him a chance. Why'd you draft the dude? He was supposed to be a Gold Glove third baseman. Why'd you draft him?
Bro, the guy came
You're a
up.
crappy team.
The guy came up, hit for the first 2 weeks, and hasn't hit since. He
made adjustments, and he hit in the end of the year. Second half last year, he hit pretty good. He hit 252 on the season. He struck out 20% of the time. How many times does Chapman strike out? Try 24, 25 to 26.
I'll take Chapman's batting glove over Schmidt any day of the week, man.
I tell you, my issue with Chapman is just it was the contract. Because the Giants bid it against themselves. Because look what's going on with the market today. Are you telling me Chapman would have been able to get the deal that he got from the Giants with that extension this year?
No way. That's why Bregman's not signed.
That's why Bregman hasn't signed. So the Giants were they're betting against themselves. I mean,
they're bidding against themselves. Exactly.
It just didn't make any sense as far as that is concerned, because yes, the Giants could have saved some of that money and maybe have gone a little bit deeper after either another pitcher or another bat, because the Giants at this particular time probably need another bat. But again,
okay, but Eric, then again, who's playing third base?
Right.
Let me ask Vince Cabusa. All right, Cabusa.
I mean, Dan wants to bring Hal Lanier back. Dan doesn't even realize Hal Lanier retired 50 years ago, man.
Okay, wait a minute. Did you not start this session that you think the Giants should rebuild?
They're doing exactly as a fan what I'm happy with what they're doing. They're rebuilding but trying to stay competitive. They're going to be a competitive team.
Why would you rebuild and just be a competitive 500 team when you could take the $25 million you're paying Chapman and play Schmidt for $800,000 the minimum? And do you know that Matt Chapman? You know what his batting average was in the minor leagues in 4 seasons in the minors? Try 244. What is his batting average in the majors?
241.
241.
How many homers did Chapman hit last year?
27, I believe.
Yeah, 27. Schmidt's lucky if he'd hit 10 over a full year.
Oh, no. He'd hit 15 to 20 easy. Easy.
I don't know about that.
Easy. He hit 6. He hit 19 between AAA and San Francisco last year. He hit 6 in 107 at-bats. Look, Vince, if you took Schmidt and let him play last year, the time to let him play was the year before you got Chapman. They played him at short because Crawford was not playing well, and they didn't have a stop. So they never gave him a shot at third base. And then last year, you see what he did when Chapman was out on paternity leave the last week or two of the season, the last road trip? Schmidt was all over the place, looking like a stinking Gold Glove he was in the minors.
He was playing really well. Yeah.
Look, Matt Williams, Matt Williams. He sucked for the first 3 years. Couldn't hit the curveball.
I remember that. He was awful, bro.
Couldn't hit the curveball. It takes time for guys to adjust. I talked to Casey a couple months ago. And
that's what it is, bro.
The one thing he said
that's what it is
he couldn't get his time. He comes up to San Francisco. He plays 1 game a week, then goes down to Sacramento, takes about 15 at-bats to get his timing back, starts ripping in Sacramento, and then they call him back up, and then they sit him again. The guy couldn't get any consistency. Look at his minor league numbers. He hit 280.
Dan, they're seeing this guy every day. The scouts are seeing this guy every day. Obviously, they're not seeing something in him, because I'll tell you why. If they were seeing something in Schmidt, why wouldn't they consider trying him out at first base?
Look who was making the decisions for this team during Schmidt's coming up. It was Farhan. The guy was out, like Eric said, trying to save his job.
Yes.
And so
I agree with that.
He went out and he got, he was getting Chapman. He went out and got Chapman, Soler, Lee. Who else did he sign last year?
Snell.
Look, it didn't work out. Then they started trading some of the guys, traded Soler. But the thing is that Chapman is going to be 32. If you look at his stats versus Nolan Arenado's career started to tail off at 32. Evan Longoria, 32, 33. I think Chapman has 2 good years left in him, okay, where he could be productive. And he could be he's going to be an all-world third baseman. We know that. He could also be a productive player at the plate. He needs to cut down on the strikeouts and start hitting with runners in scoring position. But he's there. Okay, so in 2 years, where are the Giants going to be in 2 years? Are they going to be competitive? I don't see it. I think they're at least 3, maybe 4 years away. And now you're going to have Chapman stuck, just like you had Evan Longoria, and you saying, we can't get rid of Longoria. Nobody wants him. And you're going to have Chapman at 34, 35, and 36 and 37. So I think you're wasting. This is why I say, what are you doing just throwing this year away? If you're trying to win when you've got the players, why wouldn't you go out and get guys now? Otherwise, why do you have Chapman?
I'll tell you why. Because they're doing two things from what I can see. First of all, again, you got to look at the era Posy was brought up, and you got to look at the 3 championships. They were all homegrown. That's what he's looking at. That team was homegrown. Buster, now 2 things are happening. Number one, he's saying, let's take a look at what we got. Okay, is Tyler Fitzgerald the real deal? Let's see what we got. Is Ramos, is he going to repeat what he did last year over a full season? Let's give Matos. Yaz ain't going to play out there. Let's give Matos a shout. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we have with the starting rotation. Here's what else they're doing, Dan, is they're stockpiling money for next year. So
okay.
now... So
and
now,
who are they going to sign?
What, Vlad? What? What? You rather have Pete Alonso than Vlad?
No.
I would rather have Vlad, but they're not getting Vlad.
Why do you say that?
Because I think he goes.
Uncle Stevie will have a word to say.
He can go to the Mets. He could go to the Yankees. He could.
I think
Yankees got what, Goldschmidt for 1 year.
Yeah, I think
I think I'll choose the Yankees over the Giants.
They're stockpiling money. They're going to see what they have on this year's team. They're going to see what's going to stick, and either they make moves at the trading deadline if they still have an opportunity. If not, they will spend more money in free agency next year and combine them with the younger guys that prove themselves this year. We're never going to know what those younger guys can do if we don't give it to them for 1 year.
That's exactly why I said they should have played Casey.
Should have done it last year.
Yep. They should have done it last year, 100%.
Yeah, but like you said, Eric, I agree with you 1,000%. The guy was fighting for his job.
He was.
So, I mean, I get that. I understand that. That's what happened.
Yep. And then, there's another guy, and I know there's people in the chat, they're going to think we're nuts. Kyle Tucker, I think, is a better get than Vlad, because you're going to have Eldridge at first base, who's your power left. Then if you think about it, Kyle Tucker's bat will play an Oracle. He's a hard-hitting lefty, and the Giants need right. So you got Eldridge and you got Tucker, along with Adames and a little bit of Chapman. You're putting something together now. I would love to see that. I hope they do it, because look, we all know the Giants are printing money. They're printing money with the real estate, and that's the thing that pisses me off, and I'll continue to say that. When you got ownership over there touting Mission Rock, what's going on over there across the cove, but you're not, investing in the club, so to speak. If they don't do it this year, they better do it next year. And I'm okay. You want to play the young guys. I want to see Matos in right field, Ramos in left field, see Lee in center. I want to see that. And then in first base, I know, Glenn, you're hard on, hey, let's get a first baseman. But I think Bryce Eldridge, he's the future. And I think we're going to see him in the September call-up. Unless he's showing something. If he's showing something in AAA that he is fielding that position at first base, he's coming up. He's on a fast track, man. If he's showing it, he's coming up, because the Giants need him. There is no doubt about it that the Giants need Bryce Eldridge.
Let me ask you a question, Dan. Let me ask all you guys a question. What are they going to do with Luciano?
Oh,
see, now, I talked about Casey Schmidt. Watching Luciano this year, obviously, bro, he killed us at short. I mean, there's no question about that. But I did see some promise in that bat. I think he can hit. No?
I saw more. I saw more promise out of Encarnacion's bat.
But last year, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
geez,
what's going on with Luciano.
I don't know if TV did it justice. Sitting in the ballpark when he hit the ball, the pop off that bat. I don't know what the velocity was. He can hit the ball. And
I
he
like
gets
Luciano's
bombs too.
bat, too.
I like him. And I was on Dan's show in the chat. I was the only person, and don't deny it. I was the night they signed him. I posted it. They're like, what? What? Who? Oh, he'll never, he won't even make the AAA team.
Yeah.
And now this is the thing there, Russo, that when you do this show every freaking night, you got the people who 1 week it's a cluster fuck, and the next week it's the greatest team in baseball. They talk. You're talking about saving money and spending money. If they spend it, I said, hey, I think they got Jung Hoo Lee at the appropriate price. Oh my God, it's an overspend. Oh my God. I'm like, well, if we didn't spend it, you'd be bitching going, we don't spend any freaking money.
Glenn,
You can't make anybody act. There's no lane. Nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. I don't know what to do over here.
Luciano. We're talking about Luciano now.
I know, but you know me. I get fired up. I'm all over the fucking place, and I'm not dealing with this stuff. Luciano, if they don't know what they're going to do with Luciano by now, how the hell should we know?
Well, here's the problem I think with Luciano is maybe he's dealing with an injury because he's had an issue with his back. His last year, his back just it disappeared, and I don't. There's something going on, and
you can crap on him, but the team has not done him justice.
That's where I was going. I don't think Farhan and Dan, I think you agree, they didn't treat him exactly in an exemplary manner, right? They were shuffling him from AAA to the big club.
They made him the scapegoat too when he struggled defensively.
Right.
What they got to remember is they were 9-1 when he was playing with Ramos and Matos. 9-1. And then it was their best streak of the season.
Yep.
Then they pulled Luciano. And I'm telling you, the reason they were 9-1 is because they were playing a little bit more exciting baseball. They were taking chances on the bases. Guys were, Matos was hitting. It was just a good time to watch. But I want to ask you a question, and I'll ask all of you guys, but since the other guys, they've heard me say this. Now, a lot of people are going to say I'm crazy. I know I've had about 5 solid concussions, okay? And people think I'm nuts, but hear me out. I think the Giants, with Bryce Eldridge coming, that they should build around this kid, and I think they should take that triples alley from the third archway, which is at 365, and I think they should put a 7-foot wall and just connect it right over to the 399 or the 391, wherever it is, right in straightaway center, and make that power alley instead of 415, like 385, like a normal ballpark. Bryce hits 40-plus homers, could be rookie of the year. You get a new draft choice. You get a number 1 pick if he's the rookie of the year. Also, other players like a Kyle Tucker might say, you know what? Maybe I might come to that ballpark. It's not going to hold me in. Whereas there's no chance they're getting Kyle Tucker in this ballpark. 0. They're not getting a Bryce Harper. They're not getting a Juan Soto. They're not getting powerful lefties because, only Bonds on roids could hit it out of the 420 consistently when it was 421. Okay. It's the only right-handers, not a big deal. The park's pretty normal dimensions. But if you built this park, you would have more home runs, more excitement. The ball team is just boring. Glenn goes to more games and falls asleep, I imagine, watching these guys score 1 to 2 runs a night.
Well, that's true. 3 hits, 3 hit nights. And I'm like, we can't win doing this.
The right fielder with this current makeup plays right center field. Nobody plays straightaway right field no one plays right center but in Oracle. The right fielder is 140 feet off the line. It's just ridiculous. If you change the dimensions, it would be a true ballpark. And then, guys, the Giants would become the Giants again. They would start hitting home runs. And you know what? Every team that hit 200 homers last year made the playoffs except the Diamondbacks, and they tied for the playoffs. So Giants were at 177. That's not that far away. Adames will add probably plus 10 to the shortstop position. You move Fitzgerald over to second. He probably adds another 10 there. Now you're at 197. If you would have done what I thought, added Alonso, you'd probably add another 15 to first base. Now you're possibly in the playoffs. But I digress. You're bringing up young guys. Bryce Eldridge is not just your normal rookie. He's 20.
Right.
When you find
Correct.
a 20-year-old that is almost major league ready, rare. Most of them are 23 to 25. So build around this kid, trade some of the assets that are where you could get some of the guys and start getting some other young 20-year-olds, guys that can rake. And then all of a sudden in 3 years, you're like, hey, this is a fun, competitive team. And now we can get a couple of free agents because the ballpark is not an issue. You're never getting a lefty coming to this park. I guarantee if the park was 385 when Bryce Harper was making his decision, I bet they had a pretty good chance to get him.
It's possible. What do you
Now,
think
I don't
about
want to be a
that?
Debbie Downer, but what are you going to say to our chat? And I know there'll be people in there who say this. What do you say to the people? Oh, yeah, shorten the dimensions, and then all these other teams come in and beat the shit out of your pitchers. Because we've seen that. Countless times we've talked, Eric and I have talked trades. I know you have on your channel. And the first thing that people come into our chat and they say, oh, well, you can't hit home runs at Oregon. Well, Judge can, and Soto can, and all these big bombers can. So what's going to happen? You shorten porches. You still got to play the competition, and the competition's going to get those short porches too.
Yeah, I
it's the devil devil you don't.
I just think it'd be more exciting brand of baseball. Period.
What do you think about that, Vince?
More exciting brand of baseball would be get them on and steal some bases and get some clutch hits and not 3 hits and lose every game 3-1.
Well, let's talk about that too, because we've not spoken about that at all. First of all, they've made Triples Alley part of the personality of the park. They're never going to change that. That's part of the park now. I mean, it's you go there and you're celebrating Triples Alley like you are the glove out in left field. But here's something we have not spoken about. And I think this is totally going to change this team this year. Bro, I think they're going to run 2-3 times more than they did last year. Bro, there was no running game last year at all. Now we know what Fitzgerald can do. You got Adames, Lee being healthy. Bro, I think this team is going to have at least maybe 3 times the amount of stolen bases they had last year, which of course is going to equate to scoring a lot more runs, I hope.
There you go. There you go.
That is the hope.
I can't see Buster not letting this team run. I think this team's gonna run.
And there will be a different philosophy under Buster than it was under Farhan. I absolutely believe that. Now, we'll see if Bob Melvin, Bob Melvin only has that 1 year. We'll see. I think it's going to be a prove it type of deal for Bob Melvin, because last year I wasn't too impressed. Again, was he handcuffed because of Farhan? We don't know. We'll find out this year. Absolutely, we'll find out this year. But are you coming to San Francisco at all to catch any games?
See, man, every year I say I'm coming, and then they start shitting the bed, and I'm like, I'm not. That's why I swear to God, I give you guys all the credit in the world, man, because when they start shitting the bed, and you guys come on here and do a show every night, I'm like, I don't know how those guys are doing a freaking show. I don't, guys, I don't know how you do a show when they start shitting the bed. I don't know how you do it, man.
It's tough, man.
I'm done with them at that point. At that point, I am so done and so freaking disgusted. And you guys are going on here every night. I'm like, I don't know how they do it, man.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Let's talk about this real quick. I don't know how much time you got, Vince. I don't want to keep you too long. The bullpen. I felt pretty confident in the bullpen.
Wait a minute. Are you sure you want to open up that Pandora's box? You and Cucamonga again. Are you guys out of your mind carrying on about Taylor Rogers? What are you guys? What are you guys? That guy couldn't get anybody out the second half of the season, and now we're like, no, what, bro? They're gonna win one more game, keeping Taylor Rogers.
Look, he had a 2.4 ERA. Come on, man.
Bro.
Come on, man. He had a 161. He had a 161 ERA plus. He was getting the job done. Now, granted, it may not have been in high leverage situations, but he was what other lefty? Are we going to get Joey Lucchesi? I mean, and you're saving $6 million because of that. I mean, that just seems the guy was decent. I mean, he was okay. You got to have at least two lefties in the pen. You got to. Wow. Right? You don't want.
That's the only thing I don't like about it. It handcuffs the manager late in games.
It does. And what other lefty? I'm not high on Joey, especially since he didn't pitch last year, or did he? No, he pitched like a few innings last year.
Another bargain basement find.
It's just that's the part that that frustrated me because I thought the Giants, if anything, they got a lockdown bullpen. You got Ryan Walker to close it out. You got Doval right behind him. You got Eric Miller, who I think is going to be even better this year. The guy strikes out Ohtani every time he faces him. And then you got the young guys and Randy Rodriguez and Landon Roop. And I mean, there's a bunch of guys they got in the bullpen. I like the bullpen.
Some possibility.
Yeah. That's going to be a strength for the team because look, and that's why I wanted Hicks in the bullpen. You shortened the game. And I think if you had a three-headed monster, gosh dang, man. That was the part that got me as far as the bullpen with Hicks and then letting Taylor just go.
We might need him.
I was surprised that and maybe you guys can shed some light on this. I was surprised that Posy made that call so early about Hicks being in the starting rotation.
Yeah.
I mean, he made it so early. I'm like, man, let's at least get to spring training and see what we got. Dan, why do you think he declared that so early before camp even?
I'm just not sure he really was so familiar with the roster. He probably saw, well, Hicks was a starter last year and he's coming back. I don't know. To me, Hicks belongs in the 7th or 8th inning. Imagine three guys, Duvall, Hicks, and Walker at the end of the game. And then you got Miller in there, and you got, like you said, Randy Rodriguez. You could have a very solid bullpen, and that is what wins games. Championships are won with a great bullpen. Yeah. And, if you can get Webb to go, his pretty custom, he usually goes 6. That helps a lot. Sometimes he goes 7. And then if Robbie Ray can come back to even close to what his Cy Young Award winning, and if Verlander just pitches, Verlander I don't think he's going to be Justin Verlander of old, but if he's somewhere in between what he was last year and his Cy Young, where he's in the middle and he's productive, he keeps you in a game, I think, Verlander could be pretty good. And then who knows what Harrison and Birdsong could bring you. I just think that you got to forget about Hicks because the problem with Hicks is if you put him in the rotation and he does well, and then he gets to about 100+ innings and he tires out, and then he's no good for the bullpen. Yeah. It's like, we're going to move him to the bullpen. No, he's tired.
He's spent. He's already spent.
I don't have the problem with him being in the starting lineup, but it piggybacks on what Russo said to start the show about Harrison. To say that he is going to be in your starting staff when you're heading to training camp where competition should breed the quality. You're right. The fact he wrote off what I thought I liked what I saw from Birdsong. I thought I'm looking forward to seeing how he progressed. And then to say that, he's not even in the picture for a starting spot. It should have Buster's made some statements that have surprised me, especially when he goes on the radio in the Bay Area and says, that's it, we're done. This is the team we're going to head to spring. And then he makes another move. And then he trades Rogers. And then, so I'm starting to wonder, what can I believe anymore?
Yeah.
I never know what to believe.
The issue for me with Posey is more of, hey, I'm going to trust on the young arms. And then your rotation consisted of one young arm. You know, and that I have an issue with that.
Yes,
There's
and
no
the
doubt
fact
about
we're an older rotation off the top end, I've said it, Vince, many times. The thing that frightens me probably more than anything heading into this year is this pitching staff is an injury away from a freaking mess.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
that is true.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is,
If you have Webb go down,
that's going to be a tough one.
if you have even Ray, Eric, how many innings are they projecting? I'm projecting that we see out of Verlander.
Well, according to Percoda, was 103.
103. I said about 90.
That's what
If
they now
Webb
again.
goes-
It's projections. It's projections.
If Webb goes down with an injury like a elbow or something like
Oof.
that,
I don't
I'm
know.
going to say I told you so, because
Yeah,
he's
I know you're
pitching
going.
a lot of innings.
He
and
has.
He's had Tommy John before,
Yep.
and we've seen Dustin May have repeat Tommy John, and we've seen a couple other guys have repeat Tommy John, and Webb is throwing a ton of innings, and if that happens, I hope it doesn't, man. I'm praying it doesn't happen, but that would just destroy everything about the team. It would just send them.
It would be devastating.
reeling.
One thing about Webb, though, I'll give him, he's not a max at first guy. He's throwing 92. It's all about his movement with the two-seamer and the slider and the changeup. So hopefully that will lengthen his career. But yes, I mean, like you're saying, you only got so many bullets in the arm, as they say.
That's what it
Vince,
is,
I say a
man.
lot on this show, and these two know that I say this quite often. It's the fact that this team really, the ownership maybe has a lot to do with it. Not just Buster in the front office and the staff there, but they always seem to play it safe.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I wish they would. And like Dan said earlier, they made some moves last year when they brought in Soler, and so it didn't work. I can live with that, but to sit idle and then not adapt to the game and say, well, we can't offer 5-year contracts to pitchers. We can't offer this team, for whatever reason, will not offer opt-outs to pitchers this year, but last year it was like everybody like reach in and you pull out an opt-out.
Oh, that was far high.
That whole Burns thing, go out and again spend some money. Burns was there for the taking, and instead of pussyfooting around, I told Eric there would be a mystery team, right, Eric? On like the Tuesday or Wednesday, I said there's going to be a mystery team that just comes in here and he's just going to be gone.
Yeah,
but but wasn't that all about the taxes, man? What wasn't his decision based on the lower taxes in Arizona?
No, it was really based on. I think it was based on his kids. His wife's they have twins.
Yeah.
And here's my concern about the future, guys. And I agree with Senior. I've said it many times. I've seen Senior talk about it. Trade Webb while you can get something for him, because you're not going anywhere with this team. But here's my concern. Why aren't they making trades? Have you ever asked yourself why they're not making trades? Is it
Dan, are you not scared? I've said to Eric, not long after they signed, or for lack of a better word, signed, they put Buster in the position he's in now. I said, Buster knows these guys. He better have the balls to walk into the training room or the dressing room and say, "You're heading to Philadelphia."
Yeah,
because these are these are quote unquote his buddies.
Some of them are.
He's
Yeah,
in a different landscape now. He can't be buddies. He's the boss.
Glenn, I've been saying that for a while. Go for it, Dan.
Here's my thing on the trades. I just don't think people want their players that much. The ones they want Eldridge. They might want Ramos. They might want Fitzgerald. Nobody wants and they want Webb.
Harrison.
Who else they want?
Dan, did they not go in your chat as well and say, hey, let's trade Flores, Wade Jr., and Yaz? And I'm like, who's lining up at that trade?
Yeah, nobody wants that. Why would you've got to give up something to get something? And they only have their most valuable trade commodities are Webb, Eldridge, Harrison, Bailey, Ramos. And maybe an Adames. Adames is pretty still valuable. Chapman doesn't have any value. Nobody wants that contract. You'd have to pay it down if you traded him. And he's got a no trade, but just saying, even if, a no trade just says the player just has the right to say where he wants to go. But I don't see people knocking the door down. What happened to all these trades they were supposed to make this offseason? They tried, right? They tried to get Luis Robert. They tried to go out and get some guys.
Kyle Tucker.
People don't want the Giants stuff unless you're giving Webb or Eldridge up.
I think Dan, that has a lot to do with it, because like there were so many guys we saw get traded, and you always said, why didn't Giants get that guy? Why didn't the Giants? I swear to God, the one guy, man, that it killed me, bro, is Naylor. They should have got
Naylor.
Oh my God, bro! And now bro, you know what that guy's gonna
He's
do?
making
$10
million.
You know what he's going to do in Arizona?
He's going to crush it.
Ballpark, forget about it. But I think Dan is dead on, because you're seeing so many players get traded that they could have used, but it's like, who are you're going to trade Yaz for him? I mean, who are they going to trade for these ball players, man?
Hey, you don't have to agree with me. Is it fair to say when you are a habitual team that does not make the playoffs, and you're a habitual team that doesn't play 500, anybody should be available for trade?
Well, here's I got 2 points here.
Anybody.
First
There's
talking
no
about
Steph
Buster
Curry's
Posey.
on this Giants team. Zero.
Right. 2 things real quick. Buster Posey, and I used my time when I was in the Air Force. Once you cross that line from an airman to an NCO, you take a totally different type of responsibility. Now you got to be a boss to these guys, and you got to dictate to them. Buster Posey's kind of in that same boat. He's going from a player to being an executive, but he still has that player type of camaraderie, and that's fine. I'm not saying that you got to totally treat them like robots. That's not what I'm saying. But you also got to do what's best for the club to make the club better. And if you are opposed to trading, it's going to create an issue. He was on the radio saying, hey, I'm kind of afraid to make a trade because, it might come back and bite us in the ass if that guy panned out somewhere. So again, you got to, and I get it. This is this first year. So I get it. Cut him some slack. But that's the kind of analogy I was going to use. But here's another thing.
Sabian not afraid to pull a deal.
Nope. And
here's
another thing. Here's another thing. As far as trading, the Giants haven't been exactly doing a fantastic job. And I brought up this example. When's the last time the Giants have traded a top prospect for an MLB player?
Like twice in 20 years.
When's
Zach
the last
Wheeler.
time?
Zach Wheeler.
There you go.
Beltran.
When's the last time the Giants have traded a good MLB player for a top prospect?
Hasn't happened.
They have an issue over these last.
Well, they traded Brian Reynolds too for
but we're talking 2017, 2018, right?
Yeah.
So there's an issue from about 2017-ish to now where they're adverse just to trade when they're out in it. And you talked about it, Vince, with Madison Bumgarner in 2019. In 2022, you had Carlos Rodon. In 2023, you had a decent Alex Cobb because he was killing it in the beginning of 2023. And then last year you had Snell. Those were your team could be a totally different team if they were just willing to pull the trigger, so to speak.
Hey, I even said they should remember when we were doing NorCal in the trade deadline of 23. I said trade Wilmer. His value will never be so high. Never be so high. He was having a monster year. And a playoff team would have loved Wilmer. He had a cheap contract. And he was the perfect type of player for a playoff team. He was having
a hell of a year.
Yeah, and what do? No. And you know what? If Luka could get traded, so can Logan Webb.
Ooh.
I've said that with a lot of players. Madison Bumgarner, Brandon Belt. There's just a love affair. For some reason, this organization has a love. The fans have the love affair with a player.
Yeah.
Vince, do you know over at Oracle Park and the dugout store? You might have heard us say this, and this is true. Do you know what the most sold jersey is?
Wow, that's a good
you know? And the answer is probably going to surprise you. The most sold jersey.
I could tell you, it's not an active player. I could tell you that.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Oh, it is an active player.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, for the Giants, you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
JHL?
Nope. I was the first to have my JHL, but you guys won't get it.
Mike
Yastrzemski.
Oh, that's right.
Mike Yastrzemski.
And how does that guy become quote unquote the face of your franchise?
Yeah, how is that possible?
I don't even know. I don't get it. I
No.
don't get it. I see a lot of Will Clark jerseys out there when they're on during the broadcast. That's kind of
Bro,
like
his podcast, man.
it's fantastic, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
I love it.
Make him the manager, bro. Let's put Will in there.
Oh man,
Can you imagine?
could you imagine?
No
The
days
guy-
off.
The guy's
then.
got the fire. He's got the fire,
Yeah.
man.
But in this organization, if you're out there like me, well, this year I didn't renew. We got no season tickets for this year, and the team hasn't called. I said, "There's no one there to hang your hat on." If I'm looking at the newspaper or the internet, and I go, "Geez, Giants are playing tonight." Oh my God, I got to rush out and see Yaz is batting fifth tonight. There's no draw. There's no juice. He doesn't get some juices flowing. Or, and I've said this, you can say, hey, he could be a productive player, but I am not running 2 blocks over to the ballpark and saying, I must have a ticket to see Verlander pitch tonight. Must see baseball. They gotta get some, I always call it fresh faces in new places. Bring me in some, even if we lose. I've gone as far as to say at my age, if we lose every freaking game, but I can go home and go, holy shit, was I entertained? That's all I want. And I'm not being entertained.
Winning
I am
is
not
entertaining.
being
That's just
entertained.
me. That's
Sunday afternoon going home with Bernice going, we had 3 freaking hits again. It's a Sunday tradition. Sunday afternoon game, 3 hits. I'm not excited.
Vince, speaking of excited, who you excited about seeing play for the Giants this
I
year?
want to see Lee play a whole season.
Okay.
I really want to see him because he never even got the chance to get started last year.
Agreed.
Let me ask you guys a question, and then I'm gonna tap out because I've been freaking podcasting all day. But I want to ask you guys a question. How much of the philosophy and the lack of spending and the lack of trading and how much of it is based on the Dodgers being such a juggernaut? Like, are they looking at this like there is no way we can compete with this team now? So if we're looking to compete with this team, we're looking 3 years down the road.
And they should have rebuilt.
If the Dodgers were not a 120 win team, would the Giants be looking at this totally differently?
Dan, go first.
Wow. I would say the Giants just don't have the horses to compete really, even not just with the Dodgers, but with Arizona right now and possibly San Diego. I really think Buster's looking at this thing and saying, I've got to replenish this whole thing. It's not it. I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel right now. And I hate to be negative. I just want to be in reality. I know Eldridge could be really good, but when Eldridge starts being really good, I think Chapman starts to fall off. Hopefully Ramos is improving. He's still very young. Hopefully Lee is improving, and hopefully Matos shows up. And maybe if one of the other guys, Fitz or whether it's Fitz or Matos, shows up, you've got to. How many young guys are going to be playing this year? We're going to see probably Matos. Hopefully, we're seeing Fitzgerald. We're going to see Ramos again. That's 3.
Jung Hoo Lee, I guess you could.
Jung Hoo Lee, 4. I mean, I would say 3 of the 4 got to really produce for this team. I mean, you can't have half these guys fail, and not on a baseball team. I mean, it's not football where you got 50 guys and you can move somebody around. They've got to get guys to produce, because if they don't, the answer is very bleak for 26, because I don't see any way they get Tucker or Vladdy, and there's nothing else really out there. And there's nothing for a period of time. If you look at their farm system, their best players are in the A ball.
Mm-hmm.
So they are not.
the second ranked prospect is going to be soon Joe Sarr, who's only 17 years old.
Right. Yeah. So they are a ways away, guys. This is why I say, and along with Senior, you got to trade Webb. You've got to start the rebuild and get a couple of bombers, guys that can hit, because you can buy pitching on the market. You can't get hitters to come here.
There you go. I tell you what, the Dodgers aren't done. Andrew Friedman is going to do this his entire year as his entire tenure as a Dodger. The guy knows what he's doing. He's got a team. It's a well-oiled machine. They're going to reload. If you think that when Mookie Betts and Freeman and Muncy start tailing away, they'll trust me. They're going to make moves. Not only does he has an endless supply of money, but look what they do at the draft every single year. They hit on the draft, and you know what they do at that draft? They'll keep their guys that are going to produce, and then they trade the rest of the way to get MLB talent. They are the epitome of a team functioning on all 8 cylinders.
Oh, well-oiled.
They're just and I don't think the Giants are necessarily going to even. I mean, could you maybe get on par? Maybe. But look, the Dodgers are going to keep doing what the Dodgers are doing. It's not just a temporary, in 3 years, the Giants are going to be fantastic. I just don't see that. They are going to continually be replenishing and making their team good. It's scary, to be honest with you, to see what they're doing down south with Andrew Friedman. And
hey, Eric.
The Giants, man. Yeah, go for it, Dan.
Eric, you know who's leaving? Who's on his last year of his contract with the Dodgers, right? At third base?
Yeah,
Max
I know.
Max Muncy. You know who's eligible next year?
Murakami.
Murakami, third base.
He's coming.
Triple Crown. He's coming to the Dodgers next year. And they're just going – and they've got that TV contract till 2038 that pays them $8 billion. So the Dodgers aren't going anywhere. They will just reload because you know why? As Ned Colletti said on my show, the ownership group wants to win more than the fans. That's the problem with the Giants. The Giants' problem is not Buster Posey, so to speak.
No.
It's Greg Johnson. It's Larry Baer. It's who's ever making the decisions and saying, you know what, we'll only go so far. We're not going to try and really do something crazy to win. We'll try, as Vince said earlier, we'll try to be competitive and just put out a team that, you know, is around that 80 win mark. And if we get lucky, maybe we get to the 88 to 90 and we squeak in. But everything's got to go perfect.
Yeah, it's got to hit.
Guys got to have big years, lack of injuries. Other teams got to lose players that are key to their team. You just have to have a perfect storm. But that's not likely to happen. So I think the problem is it's the ownership. And until the majority owner, who is Charles Johnson and Greg Johnson, until they decide to sell their shares to somebody like a Joe Lacob, who will go crazy and try and make and get a Jimmy Butler because he's hell-bent on winning at all cost, Giants are going nowhere. Not with this ownership group. I'm telling you guys, I was a season ticket holder, and I watched it very close, and I saw how they treated season ticket holders when they undercut us and started selling tickets for $5, $7, and I'm sitting there holding the bag for the $100 tickets, and I can't sell them for $10 on StubHub, and I'm losing $100 because nobody even bought them. I went 3 games in the 22 season. Nobody bought tickets. I sold several for $10 to $12 because nobody was showing up at the park, and people would buy my tickets like 2 minutes before first pitch. Oh, boom, walk in, here's their tickets, and they got beautiful seats, club level, you know, looking right down at third base, and beautiful view of the McCovey Cove, and, you know, great seats. And I would have kept renewing them, but they weren't a team that was going anywhere. And, you know, 21 was a magical year. I made money on my tickets because I could sell them easily. Everybody was buying them.
Yeah.
But you put a winning team out. That's what I don't understand. The Giants fans are good fans. They will show up for a winning team and they will support a winning team, but they're down like I don't know. They used to, what was their height of season tickets? 28, 29.
28, I think, was the highest, right? I think that's what Lou I think said 28.
Lou told us last week they're down to 7,000 season ticket holders. 7,000.
All right, listen. Now that you guys took the wind out of my sail, I'd rather go to bed. I'd rather be in a coma than listen to you guys. And listen, here's another thing, guys. Listen, Dan Cucamonga, do not call me for fantasy baseball. Do not call me for fantasy baseball. Now I'm gonna go to bed. Now I'm gonna be staring at the ceiling. Gentlemen, good night, bro. Good night.
There you go. The most important question for Vince Russo is not baseball related.
Yes, sir, Glenn.
Who wins the Super Bowl?
Oh,
Chiefs and over.
Chiefs and over.
Yes. I like both.
Taking the over. Okay, Vince, one last question.
Yes.
You have the number 1 draft this year in fantasy. Who you taking?
Fantasy baseball?
Yeah, who you taking?
Oh, God, nobody's close to Ohtani.
Show it.
Okay.
Yeah,
How about if you have the number 2 pick and Ohtani's gone? Who's next off the
that's
board?
a good question. You know who I'm probably taking?
Bobby Witt.
Well, I don't think he'll be around the second round. Do you?
No, second pick. Second pick.
Well, that would be. But that would be the second round.
No, I'm saying if you had the second pick on Ohtani.
Oh, okay, Witt's a good pick. I like Skeens too would be up there.
Skeens, yeah.
He'll be up there for me. He's gonna.
Kelly wants to know if you'll be the commish.
Oh.
I want to get him one of your.
Don't get me started with Kelly. Listen, you guys gave me.
I want to get him one of your leagues. I want to get him one of your leagues.
You guys have depressed me.
I'm in one.
Yeah. Oh, you got in one of the leagues, right, Eric?
Yeah. I'm in number 3.
Now you'll see how a league is run. You'll see how a league.
My team is the Mission Rock Giants.
You're telling me your league doesn't change the rules like week 3?
No, don't get me started with the league, Glenn. Please, I'll be up all night. All right, gentlemen.
Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate your donation of time, buddy.
It's been an honor and a pleasure, and I will see you all season long, guys. Thank you.
Sounds great, Vince.
All right, take care, guys.
Thanks, bro.
Take care.
All right, there goes Vince Russo.
Talk about a hoot and a half.
I tell you, man, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like the guy. I love his energy. I love the energy, man.
Cucamonga needs to head out too.
Oh, hey Dan, thanks for showing up, man. Appreciate it. I had to, man. When he brought you, I was like, okay, I got to bring you in, man. You got to come in.
I love it. That was great. Good show. A lot of fun. He's always brings it. And I actually had an idea for a show. I almost did a show tonight, but I ran it by some of my guys and I said, hey, what do you think of an all positive show? Like skaters told me he's waiting for the positive show. So I thought
you were with us early in the show. I said, Eric, I'm going to go on a positive rant. And that lasted 3 minutes. I'm like, all right, I can't do it. I can't do it.
What do you guys think? Like seniors out there, what do you think of a show if I did an impersonation of all the Bay Area media personalities? And I got me a wig and let's say I look like Susan Slusser.
Oh my God.
I said, I think Matt Chapman we've got the best third baseman in all of baseball. We're very fortunate here in the Bay Area. And then I do Alex and I go on and I say, well, I think this team may surprise a lot of people. And then I could do Cole Kuiper. Well, hey, Alex, I think the Giants are really going to be great this year. Just a real happy show.
If you want to walk around being Mr. Positivity, I would have to get you a custom T-shirt that simply reads, I am, and all in capitals, not Robert Rothberg. Because people would be mistaking you for Robert Rothberg everywhere you go.
Man.
Well, then at the end of the show, it would say Dan was drugged before the show started.
Robert and Skater.
Or Skater.
Did you tune into the show and I don't know what the topic even was, what we were talking about, what to look forward to, and you're looking forward to opening day? And Greg is over at the ballpark at the gate trying to he's ready for opening day.
I saw that.
He saw that. Dan was in the show. Yeah.
You know what I do love opening day, and I,
It's
the
the game. It's
saying
about the game.
hope springs eternal. When I was a kid, the favorite smell I had growing up was March and April of cut grass.
The cut grass is the best smell, dude.
Oh, the cut grass, and I would be
Especially
playing
at 6 p.m.
in the infield, and that grass was cut. Oh, man, it's like,
You know what?
it's like chocolate chip cookies to a cookie addict, man. The
Dan,
Cookie
you know what's
Monster.
the best thing about baseball? Because I don't usually go to home, but what I'll do is I'll cut the grass, put on KMBR, and fire up the grill. There's nothing better than hearing baseball on the radio, smell the cut grass with the barbecue briquettes going.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh, yeah. That's baseball.
Dude, that's freaking
I'll leave you with one other thing, guys, before I head out. Another thing I'm going to do. What I love about baseball, with the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday, what I love about baseball, it is the purest officiated game of all of the major. Hockey's pretty close too. Hockey's probably second. Football is a joke. Okay. You could call holding or not call holding, pass interference, not pass interference. You could call whatever you want to dictate the outcome. And in basketball, you can do the same thing. No calls, different calls. Baseball, the only thing you can get you in baseball is the called strike zone. And baseball is going to be working on that to correct that too coming up. This spring
Right.
training, the challenge system starts, and I think it goes into effect for the 26th season.
Yeah,
And
probably is.
so baseball is, think about how many games we talk about. The one biggest flaw was that Andres, what was the pitcher for the Tigers? I'm forgetting his last name.
Oh, yeah. No, was it the Tigers or the White Sox?
Tigers.
Was it the Tigers when he missed the perfect game?
Yeah, he had a perfect game. He
first-
threw him out at first, and the umpire. To me, you know what? I know
Major League Baseball should just say we overrule that.
I agree, Glenn. And
Yeah.
here's why.
It's stupid.
The umpire has had to live with the shame and guilt.
He cried on TV.
Yes, he's had to. Galarraga, thank you, Senior. He's had to live with that. It did not. The next batter he got out, so it didn't change the outcome. He got 28 for 28, really.
Correct.
So if the 28th batter had got a hit, you couldn't really change it. But the fact is, you could go back and say, Commissioner, look, they put people in the Hall of Fame after they run out of the special committee or whatever this.
Yeah.
Look,
what is that?
you could make a commissioner's call. It does not change the integrity of the game, because what would happen is you have replay now and everybody can say boom. And it wasn't like, oh, well, we do this, we got to change everything else for other games. Come on. This is a perfect game. A guy had a chance to be in the history books, and an umpire had a chance to actually go to his grave feeling like, hey, so they did the same thing to Pete Rose, and the guy begged for forgiveness.
He did.
You got to respect that, though, if the league does that. I'm not the biggest fan of NASCAR, but I love watching the super speedway race. Bobby Allison, he just passed away in the last year. One of the greats, the Alabama gang member. He won a race in around 1973, and they took it away from him on some technicality that had never been. And just in the last year or two, NASCAR signed a proclamation and said, we give him the win. And literally on his deathbed, he goes, that is, and this guy won countless NASCAR races, made lots of money. He goes, that is the one thing that has haunted me my whole life. I won that race fair and square. And someone, because they had the power of the pen or power of the wand, they took it away. And he goes, it just wasn't fair. So before he passed away, he got that. And I will disagree with you, Dan. I think hockey's the most purely officiated game. You've got.
Yeah, I have it as a second. I think it's really good. Yeah.
I think it's number one only because at this given day, as I like to say, Eric, right? On Saturday, February 8th at 12:31 a.m., you just recently had another Major League Baseball scandal where a top-rated umpire has been banned because he was officiating. He was umpiring games that he had an account shared, and They were betting on the games.
Well, you know what?
Nothing
What do you
pure
think?
about that.
Not smart.
This is what happens when you allow that gambling in sports, man. The MLB condones it to a certain extent.
Slippery slope.
You're
You're going to
you're
see. You're going to. I don't know if you technically yet, but you're going to. If not, you're going to see jerseys, and they got the Rona or the Home Depot. You're going to see like Caesar's Palace on those jerseys.
Look, you know what?
It would teams in Vegas. You never thought you'd see teams playing in Vegas in any major league sport.
It would be so easy to throw a game if you were an umpire. You know why? Because I don't have an account, but my buddy Eric has an account, and I tell him, Eric, go ahead and bet on these guys tonight. I'm calling balls and strikes, and all I've got to, and I'm gonna work it out. So that's what happens when you open up gambling.
Absolutely.
I think I looking at Senior's comment. You can't tell me Ohtani wasn't in on some of that. I just don't. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. Look, born at night, but not born last night. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. You can get onto a whole list of subjects. Certain leagues do certain things. They don't want to call out their guys, right? Because they don't want to just ruin the whole league, the integrity of the league. Ohtani goes, that's a ton of money. How about LeBron James? Now, there's no proof of this, zero proof, so I will say I don't know, but I have my suspicions if he's been on the juice. I have my suspicions. Guy's just a freak of nature, 40 years old. Come on. I saw him when he was in his mid-20s. He was straight up a beanstalk.
Yeah.
And even when he was in Miami, all of a sudden he's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know. Just a possibility. I'm not accusing him of it, but wouldn't shock me, I should say.
Exactly.
But the league will never, even if they knew about it, you think
they
would
won't
say,
do nothing.
LeBron. They weren't going to do nothing.
Turn the other way.
Are you scared of a labor dispute next year?
I think it's coming. I do. I think
they don't get along. MLB and the players union, they just don't get along. They don't.
LeBron Senior, LeBron James.
The last couple were like, I think this could be on that level. If you get both sides and they're not going to budge. That last one back, when was it? Late 80s? The year the Montreal Expos had the dominant team in baseball.
No, that wasn't the last time. They just had it back in 2021, 2022. When was it, Dan? When they had the
last big one was back.
That was the big one.
Yeah.
After the 21
nobody would bet. We didn't have base. They didn't even have a World Series.
Oh, you're talking about the 94 one. Yeah.
94. I thought it was late 80s. 94.
81, there was a strike. They had a 2 season.
Year.
Remember? 81, they had like 2 seasons. It was something weird. It was odd.
And look, this is a sad thing about their union is the fact they got so much leverage. They got like millions and millions and millions just coming in to their union off baseball card sales. That's how they fund their union, baseball cards and merch. Baseball cards, Eric. So when they go, I watched a documentary, when they go on a labor dispute, they get locked out. Players get paid by the union with baseball card sales.
That's weird.
It's true. Can you imagine? Eric? Me calling you up tomorrow and going, I got a lot more spare time. I got locked out, but I got my 186 million in the bank. So I really don't care.
I'm all good.
I got to get up and go to work. Speaking of that, I'm off tonight on the Overnight Oldies show, but I'd like to cut out of here soon.
Yeah, I'm ready to get out of here. Dan.
Hey,
thanks,
man.
man.
Guys. Appreciate
it. We'll see you
it.
on the next one.
All right. We'll see you. We got
not
one
this
a week
Sunday.
a week from Sunday.
A week from Sunday, we'll have another episode of the Hot Corner, man.
There we go.
Hey, before you go, I know we don't really. It's not the nature of our programming over here, but you talk a little NFL football on Sundays. Some late Sunday afternoon promptu shows there. Who do you got?
Yeah, I think I'd like to see Philadelphia win, but somehow I think Cleveland. I think what happens is,
or KC.
I think Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, stacks the box to stop Saquon for the run, and I think he forces Jalen Hurts to beat him, and they play pretty good man coverage, Kansas City. So I think Kansas City wins in a really close one, but I'll be pulling for Philly, even though I can't stand Philly.
I think it's
tough, right? You're doing this, right?
Yeah, yeah,
it's
bad.
I think that running back out of Rutgers has a big game again on Sunday. What's his name? The Kansas City running back.
Pacheco?
Pacheco. Pacheco. He in college he could quarterback. They ran so many odd, gimmick plays. And you know how much I hate gimmicks, but when you got a running back who can step in and throw the touchdowns, he's Kansas. You can't knock Kansas City. Prime example. All the years Kansas City was a bad football team, they built it right.
Yeah, it's hard to beat again. It's hard to bet against Reed and Mahomes, right? That's tough.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hard to believe another one's rolled around, guys. The older I get, didn't we just have a Super Bowl a few weeks ago? It just
I know, dude.
Geez,
did you guys see Snoop Dogg's jokes?
No.
Oh, it was pretty funny. Jesus. He was doing a comedy show at the NFL last night at I don't know if it was at the awards or whatever, but he said, I've been watching football a long time. And he says, the last time I remember when the Cowboys were good. And then he said, oh, what was the second one? It was on Twitter. I can't remember what the second one was, but it was pretty funny too. And then the punchline was, he goes, and Bill Belichick, his girlfriend wasn't even born.
Oh,
I heard that this morning.
Oh man. She's like 25. He's like 70.
Oh my God.
Hey, one more quick one. A short snapper. Dan, early in the show, I was poo-pooing on the halftime coming up. I will not be watching the fucking rap show.
I've never watched a Super Bowl halftime show in years. That is my time to just kind of talk with people, catch up, eat, do some more eating.
Yep.
I do not want to watch, I grew up in an era where it was like, play the dang game. I don't care about what's going on. That's for the casual, the halftime entertainment. Give me the freaking game. You know what I wanted at halftime? I want a breakdown of the game like 20 minutes.
Yes, absolutely.
Give me analysis. I don't need to watch people flying around on a trampoline or and
nipple gates and all that stuff.
Yeah, breast popping out, whatever. Come on.
The world we live in. This one coming up. What is it? Who was it, Eric? I had such a beef about it. And I don't even know who he is. Some rapper.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar. I said, give me Metallica and I'll tune in.
Yeah, if you give me somebody that's actually talented, like Michael Jackson is,
his
Michael
halftime
Jackson.
show was fantastic.
Yeah,
maybe we're just getting old. Maybe Kendrick Lamar is the Michael Jackson of today. We just don't know it because I couldn't care less.
Give me a freaking concert. Like I don't need to see him running all around. Give me Journey or give me
Journey. There you go.
Yeah, give me
a Leppard, Metallica. Yeah, I said to Eric earlier, it's such a it's such a high profile game. The testosterone's running high. It's like when I go to the gym and I hear people, they got their headphones on and they're running on the whatever they call the little things where you're kind of like a stair climber.
Oh yeah.
And I'm on the treadmill and I hear their headphones blaring out, and they're listening to Metallica and Guns N' Roses and AC/DC. I mean, that used to be workout music, and now Kendrick Lamar and Pharrell Williams and Snoop Dogg at the gym and halftime. Count me out.
Yeah.
Hey, with that, I'm ready to get out of here. Dan.
All right. Thank you.
We'll catch you later, man.
All right. Take care, guys.
See you,
Good
buddy.
show. All right. Take care.
All right, Glenn, let's get the heck out of here. I'm tired, dude.
Eric, we'll either, I don't know about you, Eric. Entirely up to you, but I'm telling you right now. I was thinking maybe we'll throw tonight's show back up by popular demand, and tomorrow night you can tune in for a replay, because I thought that the whole show, the breakdown and working for Vince was pretty good, and then he brought it. And see, he knows a quality broadcaster when he meets one, Eric. So
there you go. Look at that.
Bastards. But I think I'm taking tomorrow night off and getting ready for football. And what about we're going to be on late? I don't even know what our schedule is. What
Sunday,
do we do?
I don't know. Maybe we don't even do
Football
a
game
show.
starts late.
So maybe we don't even
Maybe
do
we take the weekend off.
Maybe we'll see. Yeah.
Dan didn't do a show tonight. Maybe he can do a show for our pundits and let them tune in there.
Yeah, maybe.
If you want to come on for a little, Eric,
If
these
you-
3-hour shows are killing me, man.
Well, this is a good one. We had a good guest.
This
so-
was. Appreciate Vince coming on. He's off to La La
Absolutely.
Land. He had a little, and we were just talking. We were just talking about the honeymooners last night.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I thought that was great. Anyway,
All right.
anybody know, by the way, when you watch that, who is the little puppet? See, he had Jackie Gleason on my screen to the right. Then he has a puppet with a hat. Who's the puppet? He's got to be some,
I have no idea, man.
I was going to ask
no
him when we
idea.
ran out of time. The puppet. That doesn't it look like an Elks Fly? He's got bobbleheads.
He's got stuff.
Yeah.
He's got memorabilia,
He's got
man. That's awesome.
Eagles stuff and the
Good
keyboard.
stuff, man.
Holy! I didn't see any fantasy football.
Thanks, Johnny.
Didn't see any fantasy football league championship trophies though, Eric.
Maybe that's in another room.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, he's
Maybe.
pretty good at that stuff.
Yeah,
he's pretty
we'll
damn
see.
good.
Yeah, he's freak. Eric, the old the blind squirrel finds the nut routine. That guy plays like 30 leagues. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
I
in a
had
lot of
tough
leagues.
time with one.
Yeah, he's in a
All right. If we are so inclined, we'll be back tomorrow night at 8. Maybe Eric will be here. Maybe I will.
Sunday definitely taken off.
Huh?
Sunday definitely taken off. 100%.
Okay, maybe we'll show up tomorrow.
Maybe we'll see.
I don't know.
Just be on the lookout.
Hope you enjoyed the show and our special guest. We got to do that again soon. Peace out
Awesome.
from me.
All right, Vince, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Also, Dan, thanks for popping on. Guys, thanks for hanging out the chat. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you guys maybe tomorrow night.
You're awesome too. Good job, Eric.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Glenn. All right, guys. See ya. Woo!
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.